Welcome back to a family food story.
Food story.
And boy, do we have a story for you. If you are new here, we're Kevin and Christy Comstock, and we're here to do this.
Who threw a glove at you?
Zayden. All right. We have 8 children, one of which was just born about a month ago. If you haven't seen that story, that's remarkable. We're going to answer some questions that you have on the birth, how she's doing. You might actually get to see her. That's Zayden. Say hi, Zayden.
Hi.
And we have a bunch of food that we're going to pack up today and answer some questions and just get things going. So.
And we're going to be talking about
Stop.
our favorite
Oh, yeah.
Azure items. That's kind of like the big.
This is my
Hard
first.
thing.
This is my first favorite Azure item right here.
And Zayden.
All right, no, get down. You can't climb up on mom. Get down.
How about that?
No,
Can I
all the
put
way
on a
down.
show in the basement?
What?
Can I put on a show in the basement?
No. All right,
So,
if you can't listen, you
Do we
get
have
out.
helpers for the vacuum sealing?
Asher's gonna be helping me with
Because
that.
one of the things that we talked about is that we are going to be vacuum sealing and it's very loud and obnoxious, and we thought that would be very annoying to just sit there and listen to the vacuum
have it in
sealer.
the background. Yeah. So.
So we're going to be running that and doing it kind of offset,
Offset.
over
you might,
there. In
You'll
the
probably
kitchen.
hear it in the background.
But one, I guess, like, just to get started, what we're going to be doing is when we buy items in bulk, either large or small, we do our best to store those items in containers that are going to fit inside the container that we keep in our pantry. So let's actually give an example. Harbor, will you grab the coconut
Container?
Yes.
Kathy says hi. Hi, Kathy.
Hi, Kathy.
We love going to the chiropractor. He actually came over shortly after Jolene was born and did a house call for us as a friend.
Yes.
That was amazing. And we actually saw him and his wife a couple days ago. They stopped by.
Yeah.
And he adjusted her again.
He adjusted her again.
Great.
His wife signed up for our drop for Azure. So it's kind of a 2-punch combo. And then Nana's in the kitchen. Wait, hold on a second. There she is.
There's Jolene.
Sleeping.
What's up?
Can you see that? I have a hard time with
Yeah,
how
you can see it.
bright the
What?
light is behind us.
Yeah, I think you could see her.
Well, no. I'm just saying I can't see the phone
Okay.
because it's good because the light is good. Nope, Linda.
I can see it,
leave
Mom.
Leave it.
Yeah, I can see it.
Can you go check see what's going on with the door handle in your bedroom?
Yeah.
Thank you. Nana's in the kitchen says, when was Jolene born? March 9th.
Yes.
So 7 weeks and a couple days ago. So she's almost 8 weeks old.
My due date was technically
Last Thursday.
April 17th. And we never expected her to stay in that long.
No, Christy felt like she was gonna come early, and early she was thinking was March 20th, March 27th.
Well, March 27th would have been 37 weeks. And I kept thinking that she's going to come earlier than that. And never did I think she's going to come that early.
So
Anyway, I was talking about, okay,
Oh, I'm sorry.
we buy, like, for example, this is a 5-pound bag of shredded coconut. In our pantry, we store our shredded coconut in a half-gallon jar. And so what we will do is we will take this and package it in, for the shredded coconut specifically, we will put it in food saver bags.
Yeah.
We'll put it in half-gallon.
We'll take it back.
Guys, all right, you're gonna have to leave if you're gonna interrupt.
I want the food saver in the kitchen set up with the bags ready to go, and you are gonna be on that. So get to the kitchen, please.
How big of a bag?
No, I'll cut the bags.
Mom will cut the bags.
So,
So just bring the roll here
and we'll get
and
the
scissors.
paper cutter from the
Elias,
office.
you need to get back a little bit.
So, for shredded coconut, dried fruit, and nuts, we store them in the freezer, so they go in food saver bags. And then for dried goods, they go into Mylar bags. But what we do is we'll take another half-gallon jar, dump it into the food saver bag so that when we need to refill this, we just go to the freezer, grab the bag, and it fits it perfectly. And it has been probably like, it takes a little bit of time up front. It is an added expense. So if your goal is time saving or to go as cheap as possible, this is not the
option.
strategy for you. But we are big on front loading work and doing work when we can set aside time to do it, as opposed to having to take extra time to do something
in the moment
when
you
you
need
need
to, because you never know what's going to be in the moment at that time. So
the great part about this is that if we do our inventory over the weekend and we say coconuts running low, milk powders running low, coconut date rolls are running low, then what we can do is go around and grab all of those items and put them in a bin in the laundry room so that when we need it, like when it gets actually empty, it's right there ready to go. It takes 2 seconds, as opposed to having to go down to our food supply room, open up an entire 5-gallon bucket of something, scoop stuff out, spill it all over the floor, go get the vacuum. Don't get the vacuum and then the mice come and then you have to deal with that problem. Stuff like that, it just isn't worth it in our book. And that's kind of what happened to us in the past. We were doing food storage where it was just so cumbersome that it was annoying. And you would end up opening the newest bag of something that came because it was more convenient and easier to get to than the whole using the first in, first out method. So that's why we're doing what we're doing. And if you have any questions about our process of storing foods like this, feel free to ask. I don't think we're going to talk much more about it, but I just wanted to kind of cover that before we talk more about our favorite Azure items and answering any questions that you might have about anything.
can you do me a favor?
Yeah, get back.
Stay in the kitchen.
Oh, I'm waiting.
You're waiting for a few more minutes.
What are you waiting for? For this?
Yep.
Okay.
He's good.
I
Why
just-
don't you open the Walter while you're waiting? That's
Done.
a perfect thing. You took the sheets out. You
took
the
the
sheets
sheet
out.
out.
You vacuumed the whole thing. And you wiped it down.
I'm going to scissor. Okay, thank
That's
you.
what needs to happen.
I'm used
Oh, what I
to the vacuum sealer has a scissor attachment, a blade that cuts it really straight and perfect. But I'm going to try really hard to cut it straight and perfect.
So you need to back up
And
so
I'm
I
going
can
to
help
probably
Mom
fail
hold this.
miserably.
You just need to cut one, and then I can cut the rest.
But it's gonna be different sizes, buddy.
Well, no, it'll be the same for the few coconut storage.
When you're done,
I was going to say something else.
when you're done,
Oh, the day that I hit my 6-week postpartum mark where I'm supposed to be able to like jump back into life and conquer the world, we started getting sick. So for the last week and then some, no,
It
week
was
and
like
then some,
12 days.
hi.
we have had a sickness going through our home, which has been
Awesome.
miserable. Thankfully, I was the last one to get it, which means that I still have like a lot of the residual of it. So if you hear lots of coughing and snorting and snuffing, that would be why.
Or singing.
Or singing. Asher, will you please grab me a permanent marker?
Ha 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 ha.
So, so I did not think about the fact that I have my computer here. As we turn our conversation to our favorite Azure items, I was planning on kind of walking through and dictating that. So I'm gonna get you started on this, and then you're gonna be in charge of the packaging
Sweet.
because I want to really kind of focus on
Work
this.
on that.
So what we did a video a while ago.
2
It
years.
might have been.
2 years.
I don't think it was 2 years.
This summer, 2 years.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. We did our top 10 Azure item video a while
Don't
back,
touch.
and the one thing that I haven't done is gone through and review it. to really see what we had on there.
Butter.
But I know it needs to be updated. So we're going to be putting together a video that's a little bit different, where we talk about the top 10 or whatever number of items that you need to try from Azure, whether you're a new customer or an old customer who just hasn't gotten around to trying this item or type of items. And so if you have something that you think a new Azure customer or any Azure customer needs to be buying from Azure, let us know, because we're going to talk about it here and kind of come up with our list, and then we're going to put together a video on that. Because I'm realizing as we have new Azure customers join our drop, and they're like, well, what are your favorite items? What should we order? And I'm like,
this month.
I could show you a video, but it's old and I need to give you an update. So we're going to try and get that in the near future. Okay, so can you fill a half gallon with this? Hey, Asher?
Yeah. Do you want me to bring the food saver over here?
No, I'm trying to figure out. I'm going to just go.
What's up, bud?
Could you tell us to eat over here?
No. If you want
Well,
to see over there and watch, you can.
well, he's not watching. He's just eating over here.
All right,
And
Asher.
I've spoken. This is the way.
Hold on. I need to get this sealed.
Couple questions. How old is your little girl? She's too cute. I'm imagining you're talking about this one right here. How old are you? You're 4. When is your birthday?
5.
Shh. No. When's your birthday?
May 4th. May 4th.
May 4th. So she's going to be 5 in a couple weeks, which is awesome. Yes, we have a Star Wars baby, and we weren't trying for that. It just happened, but we'll take her. How much is your Azure budget each month? Back up. That's
I'm dying to hear what you're going to say.
Zayden, please sit down. So our budget is relative to the income slightly, because we don't have a set income because we're self-employed. Some months we make more money than others, and when there's extra money, we put extra money towards our Azure order to continue to build our stock of food and buy the things we want and or need. So we've gone anywhere between $800 to like $2,300.
Our bare minimum is of like what we need in a month is about $1,000.
I will give you guys some coconut
And
dables
then-
and sit quiet.
If we're stocking up, it's usually in that $2,000.
Or if there's like produce products that we want to do or have, or canning stuff, sometimes that can be more.
It also is dependent on our time availability, because
That's huge.
number one, for like the preserving of the fresh produce, that takes a bit of time. And we haven't been doing a lot of that lately because I've been growing a baby and having a baby
Me too.
and caring for a newborn. And so, Asher, you can make this like this much shorter on the next bag, okay?
But listen, I want it to lay flat when we put it in the freezer.
Okay.
So it's going to be, about 1.5 inches.
So maybe it's the
this
same.
lays,
That's fine.
lays flat. So get this to lay flat. Let's take a look at it and see what the size is. Get down.
But I totally lost what I was gonna say.
Uh,
But even stuff like this, where it's just dry goods that need to get packaged, you need to account to make sure that you have time to do that. And so we've really just been getting the bare minimum for the last
couple
like 3 or
months.
4 months.
Yeah, grab those figs and let's use that as an example. Here's an example of what happens when you don't take your projects into consideration, or if you don't manage it right. This is a bag of figs that has been down there for probably, I don't know, it expired back in August. So I'm guessing this was something we got last summer. It had fallen down, it was on the shelf in the food supply room, and it's hard as a
Which
rock.
it never should have been in the food supply room to begin with. It should have been
In the pantry
freezer.
or in the freezer, yeah. So things like this
Vacuum sealed
happen.
in the freezer.
And that's why inside of the grocery guidebook, we have a sheet in there of the projects for that month or that order that
Those
you
are
have. And this way you're not wasting money. Because I'm guessing, I have no idea how much this bag of figs cost.
Things aren't cheap.
But they're not cheap. If you add that up 2 or 3 times per order, 2 or 3 times each year, it adds up quick. And food is so expensive. So, all right, I need to get down. I'm sorry. You're slipping and sliding all over the place, and I need to be able to be a little bit more mobile.
Harbor, will you throw these in the garbage? I'm not going to throw them at you since you've got.
Can they get fed to the animals or compost?
No. I put the
They're
compost.
like, yeah, they can go in the compost.
Compost.
Can you please have Lyndon?
I just tried putting a blanket up because I want
Hey,
to
Harbor,
use something.
we'll work through.
Hey, you don't need to put the blanket up, bud.
Well, I wanted to try this.
Okay, if he wants to try it, he can try it. That's the Azure budget question. Nancy, sour cream and dried mango. Yes.
Yes, both of those. Those are definitely here.
So this is actually one that we're going to package up right now. I want to get mango powder or learn how to turn this into mango powder to do like a mango habanero rub for like barbecue stuff. I think that would be amazing.
So I think the best way to do that would be to dehydrate the mango ourselves, because when you buy the dehydrated fruit, it's more gummy,
Yeah.
and I don't know if it would powder well. But if we dehydrate it ourselves, then we can
We
over
yeah.
dehydrate it so that it's powderable, and I think that would work.
I'm confused.
But
No idea what happened.
You cut it.
I didn't even slide it. No, I didn't even.
you,
Try it again. Just
No, but look.
yeah, I don't know.
This is not how you use a food saver.
Try again, bud.
So cut that here, Asher. Let me cut that off, and I think you should be able to just do this.
Yes. Okay. So yes, the sour cream is really good. We buy the 6-pack each month, sometimes 2 if it's on sale. And the Nancy's grass-fed yogurt. We just had that this morning. Their Greek yogurt, so good. Kylie says I always order the raw cheddar cheese and the 12-pound jug of clover honey, quality products, and the best prices. Agreed. Yes, the cheddar cheese. Which cheddar cheese, Kylie? If you're still here, let me know. We really like the Sierra Nevada cheddar cheese. Melody says I finally caved and bought the chocolate-covered goji berries. Goji.
Mhm. I've never had those.
She says I believe I'm now addicted. We're gonna ignore that one.
That's trouble, because when I got the chocolate-covered
Ginger, yeah. Those they look like dinosaur eggs. They're so crazy. Yeah, you hold on to that, you hold on to that. Barb says Nancy's is still fresh, well beyond expiration date. Yes, we've eaten it like 2-3 months past expiration. Lately, it's not been lasting that long because
like we eat it.
we eat it, specifically French onion dip, anything Mexican, so good. Hi, Tammy.
Bye, Dad.
Hey, Papa. Tammy says the Thompson raisins and the yeast is a couple things people need to try. Okay, so we did a raisin test. I can't remember.
No,
which-
we didn't.
Yeah, we did. We did.
Oh no, we did a raisin test between the Flame and the Thompson.
Flame or Thompson. I can't remember which one we liked. I think we
blamed
liked
it on
the
the Thompson.
Thompson. Were good. Yeah. Cheryl says yes. I canned mango habanero sauce last year and it was so good.
Ooh.
Yes, that's coming.
Recipe?
Yeah.
No. What do
Yeah?
you mean that's coming?
Like we're gonna do some this summer, I think.
Mango habanero. That's what you've been wanting to.
Oh yes, Breslin made me a picture the other day. She wants to show because she's awesome. Thank you, sweetie. Go put that in the kitchen. Okay,
That's awesome.
that's good. Do it on the floor.
That's good.
Kylie says buy freeze-dried mango, Kevin, then run it through the blender.
freeze dried would make more sense. Yeah,
Okay.
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So I have to be honest with you. The freeze dried things kind of are
Nope, you made that.
a bit troubling for me or concerning because there's one particular item that I find
Okay.
incredibly beneficial for
Can I get
the
some
health of
bags
anybody,
this size?
and it's the freeze dried
Three
grapes.
more at least.
They're quite expensive, and I may or may not have sat down in one setting and ate an entire can of freeze dried grapes.
Yeah.
That cost like
Like
$85.
number 10 can, not the little pantry cans, but the number 10.
I don't know. Nana says, I spend anywhere each month from $200 to $400 so far. I want to buy all the things. I'm feeding 3 adults, Taco Tuesdays with adult children and grandchildren, church events, and stocking up. That sounds like a blast. I hope that you enjoy those Taco Tuesdays with everybody. So much fun. Tuesdays, we were just talking last night. I was looking at everybody at the table, and I was just imagining when some of our children, or all of our children, start getting married. I'm like, okay, our table's gonna have to double in size just to fit everybody, if everybody's around like the table at the same time. I know that logistic is not always conducive, but let's just say each of our kids have 3 kids. That's 24 grandchildren, plus 8 more spouses. That's 32 additional people. We need a bigger fridge.
But do you remember when we actually like extrapolated out how many
people that it is?
people there could be if
It was
each
like
of our kids had?
We counted like if each of our kids have 4 kids over 2 generations, and their kids had 4 kids, and their kids had 4 kids. It's crazy big, which I'm so grateful that we have some boys, because my brother and I were the last of our family, and he had 2 girls and we had a girl, and I was thinking, oh no, this is the end. But now we have 5 boys, which is awesome.
So just if each of our kids have 5 kids and they have a spouse, that puts us at 50 people with
Yeah.
us. And then with Mimi and Papa is
Yep, that's
52.
52.
And then if we start getting great grandkids in there,
Yeah,
that
that gets tricky. So
so how do you do a table
for 50
for
people.
50 people?
I always envision, like you see in those old like historical fiction films or movies where they're sitting in this great hall with like these massive tables, and there's like 2 or 3 pigs on these tables and huge goblets of wine. Oh yes, it's coming.
I think you remove the table and you all just sit Indian style on the floor.
All right, give me that. Open that up. Give each one of them 1, please. All right, let's see here. Kylie says, I've only bought the Azure brand cheese. I know you've all said the Sierra Nevada is better. Yes, it's so much better, but it's also
It's
more
more
expensive.
expensive.
But it's
If
worth
you're
it.
okay with the cheaper one, just
Stick with
stick with it.
Barb says, I also love Stacy's flour tortillas. Yeah, that's probably
a
why we
problem.
go through so much sour cream and cheese. Ah,
I did not buy any this month because we've been going through them way too fast and we need to wean ourselves off of them. We talked about starting to make some, but I think we just need to eat less tortillas.
probably, yeah.
To begin with.
That doesn't sound very fun. Okay, Charlotte has a great question. She says, did Harbor get to help with the midwifery since she was studying that book about it? She got to help all the way up until the birth because Jolene came 6 weeks early. That put us in a hospital birth situation where we weren't able to do the home birth, and I guess we're just gonna have to have another baby so she can have that experience,
A few more babies.
or she can
a
just
few
have
more
one.
babies.
She was great. She did a ton of care at the hospital when she came. She got to hold her like the next day.
Mm-hmm.
We thought about trying to get her to come to the birth, but literally from the point at which labor started and birth, it was so quick. I had called Christy's mom, and she hadn't even left the house yet, and she already had a baby. So,
Well, and unfortunately,
Nope,
she was also. We're in this position where she's 15. She can't drive herself yet, and so in order for anybody to get to the hospital, my mom had to drive. And hey, babe, can you? Zayden's head is right in the.
Oh, that's all right.
And so it was impossible to get Harbor there without my mom leaving, and we needed either Harbor or my mom
Right.
here at the house with the kids.
So,
So it
ooh, this might
kind
be a little
of
short.
was a really hard situation. I was so bummed that she wasn't able to be there. But honestly, like her being at the hospital birth in comparison to
Stop.
her being able to be at the home birth
Stop.
are such different things. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, she wouldn't have really been able to be part of it. You weren't even really part of it. It was so quick and
Yeah.
it was so manufactured that it was just, I don't know, it wasn't much of an experience. Where thankfully Harbor has been part of the birth
Over
since.
previous births, yes.
Was she there for
She was
Zayden?
there for Stop.
Zayden, Breslin, and
Please stop
Xander.
touching my phone.
And so she has had that experience before.
Thank you.
Granted, she did, and she was able to help with the actual like prenatal stuff with our midwife. But yeah, that was a really hard part. Was that she wasn't able to actually be there, and that we weren't able to have the birth that we were planning. So I think you're a little.
So 5-pound bag of.
No, that was opened.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Never mind. All right, let go. Just for a sec.
One of the other things that we're in the process of doing is whenever we package anything, we keep track of how many containers a given
Item.
amount fills.
Yeah.
And I'm working on that spreadsheet. Some of it, a lot of the dry goods with the larger quantities are inside of the grocery guidebook. But the smaller quantities, like the nuts and the coconut and stuff like that, seasonings and spices, we're still working on, and it's gonna be a long working process.
Yeah.
But just being able to have that, because for me to know when I order two 5-pound bags of coconuts and to know how many freezer bags I need to have is really valuable.
Please stop. Nana says she loves your picture. She's someone who loves our
Can you
channel.
say thank you? Thank you.
Freeze-dried blueberries are where it's at. Freeze-dried anything fruit, I think, is where it's at. The apples, the cherries, so good.
That's, okay, I want to know what you use your freeze-dried blueberries for, because we have an incident where I have an auto order for our freeze-dried foods, and in the last few months, I keep forgetting to either cancel or change it. And so, supposedly we've received 3 number 10 cans of freeze-dried blueberries in the past 3 months. So I want to know,
What do you
we
use
talked
it
about
for?
using it, for cobbler and to make our blueberry kefir. But if you've got other ideas, I would love to hear.
So whenever I smell the coconut, I immediately go to coconut shrimp, and I think that's something we're gonna do this spring/summer, is to do some coconut shrimp. There's a restaurant that we love going to when we go out on a date night. It's actually a Mexican restaurant.
How about anyone who lives in the Colorado area? Salsa Brava. Actually, there's only one left now. In Colorado Springs, is the best Mexican restaurant. One of the items that you might not even think to order are their ribs. They have the best ribs ever. I would never order ribs from a Mexican restaurant, but
I think it was an accidental order. I think is how that
it was
happened,
too.
and we got it.
But they also have a sister restaurant called the Urban Egg. It used to be over easy.
Hey, you guys can
The
share.
Urban Egg is starting to become all over, and actually I think they're in different states now. But their breakfast foods and lunches and just their people, the people that work there are amazing. If we
Yes.
go out to eat,
That's where we go.
we go to Salsa Brava or Urban. Bless you.
Excuse me. Will you get Zayden a piece of paper? Yes, and Breslin. Nana says, we love Taco Tuesdays. We went from 4 children. Now we have a daughter in love. So far, 2 grandchildren. It's so special for us.
That's awesome.
We need a massive table. We're using folding tables to feed everyone. That's what we've done before. When her brother was in town, they now have 8 kids like us. But at that point in time, we each had 7. This was 2 summers ago. And we took 2 big folding tables and put them together in our basement, and that's what we did. Kathy says, my friend has a giant family. One of his aunts put on an addition so that all 70 plus people could gather in one room.
That is awesome.
It's wild. That's so cool. Mindy says, my grandmother used to use several tables set up for us. It was normal to have more than 50 people at Thanksgiving and Christmas. That's so cool. That's like, I think about that like 20 years from now. Like, we're not going to be that old 20 years from now. And that's pending if Jesus doesn't come back.
You're not going to be that old.
Yeah, I'm like 10 years younger than Christy. So the idea of having so many people, even like 50 years from now, like we'll still be, God willing, kicking 50 years from now.
Come on.
And just thinking, where will we be? What will it be like? And I hope that there are roots established so deep and so resolute and have so much resolve that family culture stays. And we're able to have that, you know, I'll be like 80 years old and I imagine I'll have this massive, huge gray beard that all my granddaughters braid, put beads in, and it'll just be really cool. And I'll have a tattoo.
If you can learn how to stop getting food caught in it and snot.
Yeah, she's like, it's time for it to go. She's like, there's food and I'm done. And it's really bad when I'm like eating like a bagel sandwich.
Oh, don't. It's so gross. There's not many things that really gross me out, but
Okay,
yeah.
3 more bags. Any more bags, people?
Asher.
All right.
Let's just do 1, 2, 3.
Susan says, enjoy your family. You're all family. And I can't talk. I'm sorry. I'm so excited thinking about egg in my beard. Enjoy your family and your halls. Thank you, Susan. Hospital birth is traumatic. Yes. And Cheryl says to Kylie, freeze-dried blueberries sound amazing. They're so hard. They're hard to freeze-dry at home. Yes. And then Cheryl says, where do you auto-order freeze-dried foods from? There's a company called Thrive Life.
Yes, it is Thrive Life.
That's where we order from. It's like a... there's no more bags?
No,
How
2
more?
more. 3 more.
Three more same size?
Yes.
I
Wait.
would say
I'm
two,
sorry.
2 more Asher, I think.
Don't forget we can fill this too.
I'm gonna top that off. I'm gonna show
But I
people how
also
to
have
top
the
that off.
coconut gate rolls that
Yeah.
can go in half filling.
Just keep cutting bags, bud.
Mom.
Anyway,
Hold on.
it's not like an end of the world prepper thing, but that they market and target for food stores.
Well, it
and they have
used to
a
be
lot
called
of,
Shelf Reliance.
yeah, that
So listen, I need to say, like, I don't promote it because I haven't done any research on freeze-dried foods in a really long time. We started buying Shelf Reliance foods a lot of years ago, and I've never, like, we use it haphazardly, and I go through phases where I use it, and I've done like the meals in jars sort of a thing, and I go back and forth on whether I really want to use it. I've never really done the research on the
quality,
cost effectiveness.
the cost
Like
benefit.
if I make a freeze-dried meal in jar versus if we like pressure can a chicken noodle soup.
give me the paprika.
I don't know exactly what makes more sense, and the fact that I haven't done the research means that I don't like to promote it because I don't know.
Can I get a pint jar, please?
So I know that there are different brands of freeze-dried foods that might be cheaper, that might be better. Basically, I know nothing about freeze-dried foods, and so I just do what I know for now until I have the time to actually look into it more. But that's why we've never really talked about it.
That didn't go as well as I had hoped.
Jay, what's that?
Coconut in the eyeball.
Do you want me to help you?
All right. So we have. I still want. If you're just joining us now, we're talking
Do you
about
want me to do it right here?
packaging food and our favorite
Where do you
foods and things that you buy from Azure that you absolutely love. We've gone over sour cream, cheese, the yeast, and anything else that you guys, anything else that you think we should try or need to get, whichever, need to be great. Okay, so inside of our working pantry, we have or inside of our spice cabinet, we have all of our spices and seasonings in either quart or pint jars. So we take our herbs or our spices and we just dump them into, a pint jar. Look at that. That's just gonna be perfect.
Perfect.
Oh man. Okay. Take that, put it into the jar. So this is exactly the same size as the jar that's in our pantry, but I'm gonna put it inside of our bag to go down into the storage. And this one was already used that we're going to reuse it. And Christy made mention that this is a time-consuming process. But the great thing is we either get to include the kids or we just get to spend time together, or you.
Yeah.
And we consider it a
So
dual.
I
forgot to
suggest
open
when
this.
you have these gusseted bags
Yeah,
that you
open that
open
up.
up the gusset first.
Yeah, I forgot to do that. Hey,
Zayden, let me see. This is Zayden's picture. We have Mom, Dad, Harbor, and Jolene. Where's everybody else?
budget drawing, right, and this is Breslin's.
I'm drawing to make
There's the Easter bunny. Beautiful.
So who else is on
We
there?
have Mom, Dad, Harbor, Grace, and Asher. I think it was a race to see who could get their picture there first. I think Breslin won because she got more, plus the Easter bunny. Okay, do another one.
Good job, guys.
So seal this up. We don't put oxygen absorbers in here.
All right, Breslin.
We don't put oxygen absorbers in there. This just goes down inside the basket. We have baskets that are, it goes inside of a bucket. The bucket's alphabetical. And
Here, I'm gonna go grab the.
grab a jar.
No, I'm gonna go grab the inventory. So that they can mark it.
She can mark that. So that's that.
Now
Barb also says I sprinkle dried blueberries in my salads. Thanks, you back in. And a heart. Beautiful. Very nice. The dried blueberries in the salad, I think, would be nice. If you were to do
One.
maybe like a goat cheese blueberry. Thank you, Master Asher. Cheyenne says, I love you guys. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Blueberry muffins. That sounds amazing. I'm sure Harbor, she did a lemon blueberry muffin at some point in time that was stellar. Kylie says, my toddler has a sensitive stomach, so no fresh blueberries, but can do freeze dried. So they're snacks for him. I also crush them and use them. I also crush them to use and mix it in with his puffed millet cereal so it flavors the milk. Awesome. That's a good idea. And then Mindy says, I put blueberries and we make homemade blueberry pie filling that we use instead of syrup. That's awesome.
Hey, Lyndon, let's. Oh shoot. Let me do it.
Just wait a minute, bud. Jeanette Ricks from Yarn and Fabric says, hi, just realized you were live. Hey Jeanette,
We
thanks for
kind
coming.
of didn't give much notice. This
Yes.
was. I kept trying to get the time to post, and it kept getting pushed off. Okay, so this is our family food playbook, and in here, you okay?
I'm good. That's paprika.
In the eye.
The thing I learned from the first time. Oh, it stings. I'm not gonna let the world see me cry.
Breslin, here, you can show your finished picture while
Can I
your
get it?
daddy recovers.
Thank you, everyone.
Do it over here.
Paprika is funnel.
Can you see it?
Paprika.
There we go. Now we've got. Do we have everybody in there?
Yep.
Yeah. Good job. I like the heart at the
Mom,
top.
Dad, Hopper,
Recovering.
In the eye, stayed in Bristol.
Oh,
What about
that
Jolene?
stings.
She forgot Jolene.
Oh,
You want to go
What
at her?
happened?
I blew paprika in my eye.
Don't do that.
Smart.
Right?
Yeah, that's okay. It only shows up on that screen for like a second, and so we wait till it comes over here. Okay. Anyway.
Quiet.
Look at
Are you telling me to be quiet?
Nope, people.
Okay.
Thank you.
In our family food playbook, we have the We have inventories, meal plans, fast foods from scratch, grocery. This is our grocery guidebook, which is
Now.
available for free if you don't have it. Link is in the description. And then
Present.
food organization back here. Oh, there's Jolene. Is Harbor holding her? Yeah? Cool. And in here, under inventory, I'm going to open up. We have
Editing in this, it just shows up live.
Yep. That's
our
a lot
bulk season inventory. And
Wait, no, please.
the way that we keep our most of the inventory for food dependent, it's a little bit different for different things. So it's a little bit different for herbs and spices. It's a little bit different for a freezer. Quiet, Zayden. For our freezer items, it's a little bit different for our bulk items that go in the 5-gallon buckets. And I don't know, I guess the rest of the stuff is just down in the pantry. But
That's a little
we have,
You might need to transfer that to a different.
on this page, I want to share, this is where the smoked paprika is. And so since we are adding one bag,
No,
where did the
After I'm done.
marker go?
maybe.
All that I do
Ashley.
is I do, right here, I'm going to write the date, and I'm going to circle,
You're gonna need to-
and I'm going to circle one of these, and then I'll cross out the rest to show that we added one there. And then when we take a bag, you just cross this off. And I'm actually assuming that this isn't taken, so you cross it off like this, so that when I do, I'm going to write this on here, so we're at 04, one bag.
No.
Thank you. Thank you.
So here I can look at this and I can see I've got 2 open circles, which means that I have 2 pints of paprika ready to go. And the reason why we do this is because we keep our herbs and spices in 5-gallon buckets, and so they're not really easy to just see and count, and it would be kind of a pain to go through and figure out what we have of everything. So when you've got a written inventory like this, it's easy to know what you have and what you need.
Yep. Oh. That was brutal.
You okay?
I'm good.
I bet money.
We've got another month or so before you'll do
Wait,
something
wait,
like that
wait,
again.
me.
That's very kind of you to think that it's gonna be that long.
Honest or mine?
Okay, show yours. Show your finished picture. That's beautiful, Zayden.
Ah.
You gotta go higher. You know, it cracks me up.
I did
Our
that.
children,
They're sweaters.
the first 3 children all drew people the same way. And they were more like stick people.
I got it.
And then Lyndon came, and Lyndon would draw, he would draw a circle and then arms and legs. And Elias, I don't know if Elias ever does stick people. He does,
He used to do the same
did
thing.
he do the circles?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did the circles too. But now Breslin and Zayden, I've noticed,
Nope,
they
see
do
that?
like a rectangle and they have legs and arms.
Nice.
Which I just think it's funny that they kind of, in clumps, have done,
Want to make this?
drawn their stick figures differently.
Working pantry jar. Leftover. This is new.
Perfect.
This is new. This is old. So I'm gonna take
No,
this
it's
out.
the same though. It's out of the same
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
bag. So it's totally
No, it's not the same bag. I just opened that
No,
bag.
it isn't, Mom.
okay.
Want to make
It
this?
What's that?
honestly,
Into the paprika.
good habit. Okay, apparently this is
Show and tell.
show and tell hour. Lyndon, why don't you tell what you have?
It's
You gotta talk loud enough, okay?
it
And you
is
gotta fix your ledge. So good.
I do the red.
Sorry.
Give me all the.
Go ahead.
this is the thing I made out of cardboard, and it whenever I move one, finger, it moves one finger, my middle finger, my
Oh,
all of them.
Yes.
Look,
I keep waiting for him to accidentally.
yeah. Well, he did that yesterday.
See some what?
Nothing.
Thank you.
So we think that is so creative, Lyndon. I would love to get you like a 3D printer so that you
If you
could
go in front of the
like
camera
print
again, you're gonna be really close.
this as like a plastic.
Is my still on
I'm
top?
actually going to get one.
Yeah?
I'm gonna.
You're gonna get a
I'm
3D
Can
printer?
I get
Okay.
Give me
So-
another dried mango.
Once I have it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Good job, Lynn.
Thanks.
Rhonda or Susan says, baby's cute. Thank you. Not yet. Ron McBride says, blessings from New York, from New Mexico. Everyone, nice to chat with everyone. Hello, Rhonda from New Mexico. And then Morgan says, yay, I'm late, but I made it.
Is that
Welcome,
magic?
Morgan.
Yes.
Glad you could join us. And Kathy says that your hand thing is amazing, Lyndon.
Pregnancy? Water with a pack, please.
All right, so those should probably be a little bit more aired out, I think.
You can't.
Are they?
It's fine.
Okay. Please stop.
It's fine.
Okay.
Let's take a second to talk more about this because I've only got
Please stop.
Nancy sour cream, dried mango, the raw cheddar cheese, and the jalapeno jack cheese. I feel like are both
Those are
No.
pretty good.
like,
Yeah.
and I'm okay if we come up with like 20 items and then narrow it down. But I'm gonna pull up
So
our
Christy asked me if
recently our
I mentioned kiwi this morning when we were talking about this, and she goes, "But is the kiwi really amazing? Is it any different than the kiwi from like Costco or the grocery store?" And
oh that's right.
I can't say for sure whether or not because I haven't done a side by side. I think that the kiwi from Azure is really good. It's really consistent. She wants a pack, bud.
He's got it.
Oh. Not anything I don't think special, but the one produce item that we did talk about that is just I think probably one of the best items that you can get that's a produce item would be the onions, both the red and the white. I don't think we've had one batch from Azure that has been bad.
Mm-hmm.
They're always amazing, and the flavor. Please stop. Thank you. The flavor of the onions is really, really good, and they last a long time too.
The edge.
Yeah. So.
Hey,
All right, that's
So I added onions, the butter.
Landon.
I think that the butter, the Rumiano.
Now the two of you get to go.
So somebody just asked us the other day about the difference between the Rumiano and the Kerrygold butter that you can get at Costco. And number one, I think that the Rumiano butter is one of them is denser. But the Rumiano butter, we also noticed a change in the color over the season. And so during like the later half of the winter into the spring, the butter is a little bit more white. And then as you get into the summer, fall, early winter, because it's the overflow, the richness, the yellow of the butter, it increases because those cows are out on that pasture and they're really getting, I guess, the higher nutrient food that is getting passed through the butter. With that, the other thing that I thought of, I don't think Kerrygold is actually organic. I could be no, maybe it is. I can't remember. But I do know that the Rumiano is organic.
Nope.
I also personally like that you can get the Rumiano in unsalted. I I don't know. I grew up. We always just used unsalted butter, and I think my mom's reasoning was just have unsalted because you can always add salt to it. But now my added reasoning behind that is we want to make sure that we are using salt that we
No one trust.
know and trust. And I have no idea what kind of salt.
Wait, no.
I could say, I'm sure Rumiano's, they're making organic good butter. I'm sure they use a good salt. But like I
It's
like
just-
real salt.
yeah.
I want to use real salt, and I doubt they use real salt. And so that right there, again, it just gives you control over what is going into it. And I just stand by the fact that you can always add salt.
Yeah, I grew up with salted butter.
Really?
Yep.
Do you notice a difference with
That was
us
like,
getting?
that was like 20 years ago. I don't.
Well, but I've always bought unsalted butter. So
Yeah.
was that a change for you?
I don't think I cared as much.
Spread 'em
I
out.
was too interested in other things.
Put 'em up.
Okay.
There's the place.
Okay.
I was interested in being a cool guy
You
back
are
then,
not helping.
being an awesome husband.
But that-
Yeah, that was definitely your top focus.
Can we see?
Wrestling.
Cheyenne wants to.
Did you see Asher giving you a thumbs down?
You weren't even there. You didn't even remember.
No, but you're telling stories all the time.
Yeah.
Charlotte says all the items you mentioned so far I get as monthly as well. Don't forget Mary's chicken. Yes, we do get Mary's chicken, but we buy that from natural grocers.
Mhm.
We haven't. I don't know what the price difference is between
I do.
Azure.
It's way cheaper for us to get it from natural
From-
grocers.
Yeah.
Even when you're buying it in the largest quantity that Azure has, it's still far less expensive for us to get it from natural grocers. Unfortunately, I wish we could just get it from Azure and that it would be comparable, but it's not.
Sharon says, "Can we see the baby?" No. Kathy says, "Rumiano smells like feet to me. Just me? It could
Really?
be. It could be your feet, Kathy." And then Jeanette Ricks says, "We just pulled some Rumiano butter out of the freezer that smells like Parmesan. Tastes fine though, super weird." Yeah, I don't think I've ever experienced that before.
I got this.
I don't know. Never experienced that. So, all right, what else do you want to can or package up?
We will share Jolene when she wakes up. Harbor is wearing her right now.
I'm bringing some cheese over, so give me a second.
Ooh, what kind of cheese are you bringing over?
Cheddar?
Ooh.
Yes.
So, I think Azure's produce is kind of its own category for our favorite items from Azure because they have so many different SKUs and we live close enough to Azure to where we don't see much spoilage. We've heard people on the east side of the country that order things and by the time they get there it's going to spoil. So I would recommend getting things that are more root based, things like carrots, onions, potatoes, squashes.
Hold on. Here is Jolene.
Yeah.
Sleeping-ish. She'll come say hi in a little bit.
The more fresher items, the berries, the fruit, the apples, things like that, we would recommend.
They don't have berries. Sometimes I have fresh blueberries, but it's very much seasonally.
Okay.
I have a question for everyone.
Yep.
When you cut your cheese, how do you cut it? Because I personally love it when it is like
Paper thin.
tissue paper thin. Mm-hmm. So good. So
That's Dad's. Hey, give me that.
I agree. Produce, as a general rule, I think belongs on the list. But one of the reasons why I say produce as a general rule is because, number one, it's convenient because you can just get it shipped with everything else that you're already getting. Number two, they have organic produce that sometimes can be harder to find elsewhere. Like Costco does not have, at least our Costco does not have like organic russet potatoes.
Wow.
And so we get our russet potatoes from Azure.
And they're
No.
really good.
They are, but they're potatoes.
Yeah,
Like-
like help her.
I
They're
wouldn't
on the
say
ground.
I wouldn't say that the taste difference between the Azure potatoes and the Costco potatoes
It's significant.
is significant,
But-
especially in comparison to the taste difference between Azure onions and any grocery store onion.
Well-
Goes right here.
There's the organic factor.
And that, yes, and that's why I'm saying I think that like for when I'm talking about items that you need to be buying from Azure, I think that
She wants me to do
just organic produce in general is a line item, but then the onions on their own are a separate line item because of the taste difference. The organic items because sometimes it's hard to find specific types of organic produce at the
Other way
store.
around. Yes.
Jeanette says we slice chunk and shred. Cool.
Slice, chunk, and shred. Yes, we
We
do,
do it all.
all of the above also.
Keeper of the memories.
Actually, we don't do a lot of chunks. Like we don't cube. We don't really do like a lot of cheese.
Oh, I think I was
cubing.
just- I was thinking like chunk, like a big
Well,
chunk.
I think of like you know how like you can do a cheese plate, and you can do like cheese cubes
Oh.
that you would eat with like a
I was just.
a
Oh, I didn't
Q-tip
do it.
or a
Just put it
Q-tip.
on.
We're gonna use a Q-tip. Next time we run out of toothpicks, we can use Q-tips.
Yeah, that's. Just clean your ear first.
Um,
Okay, so
but yeah, we don't do a lot of cubes.
If we do cubes, I'll throw it up and catch it. That'll be fun.
okay, keeper of the memory says, I'm in New York. Apples arrived beautiful. Yes, apples was one of those that's could be a little more heartier. I order a case every month. Awesome. Kathy says that's good to know that she's in because Kathy's in New York too. I was curious where you were at, Kathy, because I think you mentioned something about getting a moving out to your guys'
She's
new
not
homestead.
going to want
How's
to
that
sit.
going?
You
How was
walk around
winter?
with her.
I want to. I'm got her.
Clip notes version. If you could give us an update, that'd be awesome.
What'd you just ask for?
Q,
Cliff
Q,
Notes version?
Kathy's new homestead.
Oh yes, yes.
No, that was me.
Yes, cubes for snacking. I don't honestly. I'm totally with Christy in this. Paper thin. The cubes. I don't know. The cubes are just odd. Oh, here's the baby. Here's the baby. Oh.
I like him.
What is she doing?
Hey.
Waking up.
Looking.
Say hello. Hello. Hello, baby.
So she is our smallest baby ever.
Yeah.
Which isn't surprising at 34 weeks, but she's actually only 6 ounces. No, 4. How much did Harbor weigh?
She's
6.
Harbor was 6'13". Jolene was 6'9".
So she's only 4 ounces lighter
But
than
she was
Harbor.
3 weeks early. If Christy has talked about this, Asher was 10'10". Lyndon was 10 pounds. Grayson was just under 9. Elias was like 9.5. All that.
I was looking for you.
If she had stayed in utero up until that 37 weeks, she would have been close to a 10-pound baby.
Mhm.
And there's one friend of ours who has a girl that was like 11 pounds. She's,
She also has all of her babies past due though.
yeah. So good job.
But it's fun because we've never it's been so long since we've had
A tiny baby.
a tiny baby. I mean, it's been since Harbor. It's been 15 years since we've had a tiny baby. Usually they come out when they come out 10 pounds, they come out wearing 3-month-old clothing. And so although I would never promote doing this intentionally,
Nope.
having a baby at 34 weeks.
Yeah. But if you
Um,
want a tiny baby,
Well, and she's not even tiny
Told you.
compared to
Compared
most
to-
babies.
yeah.
She's like a normal sized
the,
baby.
the NICU team said that Colorado babies traditionally are smaller. They're usually in that 6 to 7 pound range. And I'm going,
Put it back in.
she's fine.
Can I take her?
In a minute. Kathy says we're still looking for our homestead, heading to Ohio area-ish. Excellent. I thought for some reason that you guys had moved onto a homestead and we're starting that and building infrastructure and whatnot. So Ohio, excellent. Enjoy the mosquitoes. Everyone watching just melted. Aw, yes, I know, I'm adorable. Jeanette says adorable, thank you. And Susan says that they're moving to Texas. Excellent. Texas. We've talked about Texas, but I don't think that we can do Texas.
Everyone's moving.
So we came from Michigan, and we grew up with humidity and mosquitoes and no sunshine.
No sunshine.
You're not.
And
We moved to Colorado.
there's
where-
so many great things about Michigan, but those three are killer for me, and they just are like, I can't handle them. So we moved to Colorado where we have sunshine, no mosquitoes,
and very little
and
humidity.
no humidity.
Not no
Mosquitoes?
humidity. Very little. We are technically in what's called a high desert, and
My parents lived in California in the desert, and it was more humid,
more humid
there,
there,
than
yeah.
it is here.
Yeah.
We have
Mosquitoes.
mosquitoes here.
One year when
One
we
year.
moved here, there were mosquitoes bad, and it was when we
Oh.
decided to
We're garlic.
cut out the trails in our backyard.
Yes.
It was a bad idea that year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everyone was bitten like crazy.
Not me.
I had a lot of extra.
okay.
Not me.
So can you hand me the powder,
Not
the
me.
vanilla? Nope. Nope. I want the actual bag.
Listen.
So
Don't
wonder
you're not
it'll
gonna-
I found this.
Stay away
This
from
was an
garlic.
That's an
Extra.
extra.
So
That's like
although you can,
finding a $50 bill.
vanilla powder for sure.
I think that was one that we
You
just
can get this from Amazon. This company, Star West Botanicals, we've gotten other things from them.
You can also get it directly from Star Wars Botanicals.
Christy, in our if you've seen our last video, we talk about it. Christy goes on this rant about she's like, well, it's a processed item, and I've
said
I
added
just want to make it.
sugar.
I just
Just
want
want
to make it.
And I go, but here's the thing, you don't have to make it. The cost benefit at this moment right now is totally worth every penny because your smoothies is amazing. And
Yeah, they are.
I add this to my smoothie. All the kids add it to their smoothies when we make them. And
Sometimes oatmeal.
I occasionally the oatmeal. Harbor, I saw her adding it to her yogurt this morning. How was that?
Good.
Good.
Mom suggested it
I
a while ago.
yeah. I get the SKU. I get the processed item, but get over it. So this is going in my top 10 for sure. It's going your top 10.
It's not going on this list though.
Put it on the list.
I don't know.
Put it on the
I
list.
can't do it.
Do it. All right. No more smoothies for you.
I can't do it because I believe that there's a better way.
If you find a better way on your time,
Somebody told me in one of our comments at some point in time, someone told me that there's a better way and this seems expensive. And I don't know what this, I don't know how much added sugar it is. And I'd like to know what kind of sugar. And there's just, it's organic ground sucrose and organic vanilla bean.
Sucrose?
No. You did
Sucrose?
Extractives.
I don't know.
Hi.
It's kind of like rubbed off.
Hmm.
So I came up with 2 more items that I think belong on the list. Number one,
I have one more.
bulk herbs and spices, because we wasted way too much time and money on spices from the grocery store. And number 2, the Alexander
Alexandria.
milk, I believe, is one of the best milks that is on the market if you cannot get raw milk.
Okay. Yeah, I'll agree.
No.
We used to get it regularly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we used to fill in, even with the raw milk, we used to fill in with some extra of that. Now the price is actually, I think it's actually more than our raw milk share. That's why I stopped filling in. I'm like, we just need to add more milk shares.
Yeah, but it's gone up, so we have to do a comparison.
Yeah.
But I still like the raw milk benefit. What's up?
Oh, yeah.
Jolene.
No.
Do you want my help?
Maybe a little bit.
You said that a little bit ago.
So yes, this is the daily battle over
Guys.
people holding Jolene.
Yes.
We all fight over her all day long. Bless you.
Susan says near Dallas, moving to Texas. Oh, okay. So Cheryl says, yay, Susan, we're parts near Dallas, also land East Texas. Cool. Diana says, hello from Minneapolis. Please advise if you've gotten salmon from Azure. Would you buy again? We have not gotten salmon from Azure.
Hey,
I'm stuck on the Costco salmon. It's really good. The price point is remarkable.
No.
So here's the thing. As a general rule, if I'm looking at
This goes right there.
the reason why we buy what we buy, number one, we go for, like, our number one focus is quality.
Yeah, this face
And quality includes organic,
right here.
raw,
This goes right there.
pasture raised,
Can you give me the vanilla powder jar?
what am I missing? Like whole,
Yeah.
etc.
As-
etc.
Minimally processed.
Well, ideally, like no
Not
processing.
processed,
But
everything is.
and then when we're talking about organic,
That one.
as a general rule, I'm willing to pay
Stop it.
up to double. If it's
Double.
more than double for organic, we don't do it.
Yeah.
Either we get the non-organic if it's something that we need, or we don't get anything. Because
Because I told you.
I just can't. I don't know. I can't stomach more than double. Now, if you look at, there's probably a lot of things that we pay more than double for. Like if you compare the raw cheddar cheese to the Brian Kraft cheese at the grocery store,
No
it's
comparison.
probably more than double.
Yeah, but there's
But
not.
it's not just because it's organic. It's
quality,
also raw. It's also there's other aspects there.
That
Now,
was right here.
The second reason why we buy what we buy is convenience.
Okay.
Mhm.
You can know.
Whether it be the convenience of getting it to our home or the convenience of storing it and using it in our home. And then the third reason why we buy things is
Why should I help you?
to support a business that we believe in. And if money were no issue and the convenience factor isn't really quite an issue.
I would airlift salmon and oysters to us from
Exactly,
places where
right?
Oysters, like East Coast oysters and West Coast salmon.
If money were not an issue, I would buy the salmon from Azure. I would buy the Mary's chicken from Azure because I would much rather support Azure
Yeah.
than any other business out there,
But unfortunately, I
other
just
than
don't-
the direct from the farmer.
No.
Actually, that's, and so like that, when I say support the business, that also goes for, our number one goal is to support farmers locally here. And then the businesses that we actually believe in. So with that, we go through seasons where there's like the frozen fruit, where sometimes we'll buy the frozen fruit from Azure because we just want to support Azure. It is more expensive, but we can get organic frozen berries from Costco.
Yep.
And vegetables as well. We can get them from Costco at a cheaper price. The fresh ginger. I can get fresh organic ginger from Costco for a much cheaper price.
Yeah.
And so that kind of,
If there was a sheet or a way to understand the prices between each of those vendors, that would be a really cool tool.
if you have not signed up for our email list, we have not sent out an email in like 2 months, over 2 months. I apologize for that. But actually I sent one out yesterday, but before that we haven't. We have a grocery price compare sheet that you get access to on our email list. And it is a spreadsheet and it's very basic right now, but it's something that we plan to add to and build upon indefinitely.
Yep.
And so right now, like you can go on and you can see like how much, I'll use nuts for example here, and this is hypothetical because I can't remember the exact details. But for example, you can get a 2-pound bag of walnuts at Costco and it's this dollar amount. And then it'll say you can get a 5-pound bag of nuts from Azure. And it will tell you like the comparison in price. This is this much per pound from Costco and it's this much per pound from Azure. So it
Is there a problem?
it finds a common denominator
Give me my knife back.
Aw.
for the pricing so that you can have that direct compare. But then there's also a note section because there's certain nuts that Costco does not have organic, but Azure does have as organic. Also, the big thing with the nuts is that Azure does have raw nuts, where Costco, as a general rule, does not. So little things like that we're trying to add into the notes section.
Hey, good job.
And if you're someone who is like obsessed with price compare or product compare or like product quality compare or any of that stuff, and you want to help to build this list, let me know. Send me an email because
Wait, can I
we
see
need
the
help.
picture?
I've got Harbor on it right now, and she's doing an excellent job, but we can only do so much. And so
Yeah.
that's something that, like, it's something where I kept saying to myself as I was shopping, I'm like, it would be so, if I would just write this down and have it in a place where I could just easily reference it, I would stop having to go back and forth every single month and check.
Then go somewhere else. Nope.
Breslin, you did a great job on that puzzle.
Elias, go to the other deck, dude.
It's so hot there.
Yes, I know, because the sun's on there. So go over on that deck. All right, we have some vanilla and sugar debating going here, and I'm gonna
Before you jump into that,
Can I have a dried mango?
yes go over there.
we talked about this yesterday and we didn't do it. I wanted to mention it first thing so that nobody missed it. Starts, garden starts.
Oh yes.
If you are planning a garden, or if you haven't planned a garden and you still
No.
want to plant a garden but you think that it's too late, get your garden starts from Azure because they are the most affordable garden starts. One would think that it's scary to order garden starts
It's terrifying.
to get delivered to your door, but is he gonna go
He's
get
gonna go get a
one?
box.
Okay.
Hope they're okay.
We just got 5 boxes, 5,
Yeah.
and we've gotten them the last, I think, 4 years. And you brought the worst.
The worst one. That's actually good.
Actually, those look better.
Yeah.
So we got some lettuce because we've talked about starting lettuce, we've talked about growing lettuce inside, and we just haven't
water.
done it. No, they're wet.
No, not yet. Hold that, please.
They look way better. We
Hand
kind of,
me one of those
we've
guys.
been trying to harden them off, and they got really.
It was really warm yesterday. So this is nasturtium. This is one of my favorite plants. This is it's so beautiful. We there's a video on our personal YouTube channel, the Comstock Clan vlog, and I showed a clip of it in one of our recent videos. I can't remember which one, where you see it, and the herb garden is just exploding, and the nasturtium
It
is
takes over every year.
nasturtium is just everywhere, and as you can't see it now because it's covered in snow.
Elias,
but-
you can leave that door open a little bit.
But the is it calendula? Is that
What about it?
what's growing out there? You think?
I haven't
Is it
even
reseed?
looked yet.
There's something that went to seed last year, and there's probably
It's
like
probably the
60 little calendula plants, and the chives. Nope, not yet. And the chives are growing. The chives
The
have
chives
actually.
have grown like all year long.
Yeah, the chives started growing in February. They grew up about 8 inches through like February and March. The deer came, ate them down, and then they're back, and they're probably like a foot tall. So starts are awesome. Azure, thank you.
So this is one of those things where I think like number one goal is to just be able to start them yourself, because the cost saving and the control and the variety that you get is the best.
Yeah.
Number two, if you can find them from somebody locally that's like small that you can support, I think that that's a great way to do it. If you have a friend or just a small farmer that you can get them, I don't know about the pricing though. And number three would be to get them from Azure. Like last minute ditch effort for us is going to the
The
nursery.
local nursery, yeah.
because it's so expensive.
It's so painful. Like you can spend $8 on a starter.
Especially here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and especially to find them organically. Like, I believe, I don't know if all of them are, but most everything that I know of is organic that you get from the Azure starts.
Okay,
The
you ready?
sheep eat-
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Are we going to do the sugar debate?
Sugar debate. Here we go. First off, sugar.
I think that she's not, I don't know, I think she just wants to get out.
Let me get her
I'm
out.
gonna-
Can I wa-
Let- okay, let
we'll
Ashton
change
hold
her. I'm gonna get her out, we'll change it up.
Great, thank you. Okay, sugar. Someone says, or Kathy says, I was so disappointed the powder had sugar. Had added
Yeah,
sugar.
so was I.
Yes, we were all
We
disappointed.
got it, and I was just like, ah!
But we didn't know, and we tried it.
But that's what it is.
Okay. I believe it's just powdered sugar, okay, with added vanilla. How they add the vanilla, I don't know, because it's really, really white.
I don't think it's.
I
I
don't
think
think
it's sugar that they add the vanilla to and then powder.
Snow.
It's like snow.
It's amazing. Okay, so Cheryl says, is the vanilla powder just vanilla and sugar? We make vanilla sugar once we're done kneading the beans from extract. That's a great idea.
And that's something that I've thought about doing. Our extract is going to be going for a while.
Yeah, it's
But
probably
yes,
only like
it
3
is.
months
It
old.
says organic ground sucrose and organic vanilla bean extractives.
Okay,
So
hold
Extract?
hold your horses for a second, you sugar people. Gosh. Okay. Yes. Is it, or is it just dried up vanilla beans ground up?
And that's when I
don't-
started doing.
I don't know.
It's not that. It's
Yeah.
not that. When I started doing research, vanilla powder, what I've read,
Is just
is actually like vanilla beans dried,
dried
and ground up.
Yes.
like the actual,
Bean.
not just the inside.
Not the insides, but the whole bean.
The whole thing.
Yes. Okay. Sucrose is sugar. Yes. I'm debating getting pure vanilla powder from Vanilla Bean Kings, which is just ground beans.
Yep.
Option.
Yep.
For anyone interested in vanilla beans, I'd recommend Indri Vanilla Beans Co-op. We've been buying beans
Yep.
from them for probably 3 years.
Yep.
That's another good source. Jolene is absolutely beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
We agree. We think she's pretty awesome. Kathy agrees with Cheryl on the being disappointed, I'm assuming. And then Rosalinda says coconut sugar. So I'm assuming that's something you get regularly or something. So, and then Charlotte says, what are you drinking? What drink are you sipping on today, Christy? So we're not going to tell you. 'Cause it's
This is it's just a water with a electrolyte. I'll admit this is one of those things I used to get them from Azure, but I ended up switching them to, I'm gonna cringe as I say it, it's Amazon Subscribe and Save.
I should have spit my water out.
Not because of there is a price difference, but the main reasoning is I kept forgetting to add it to my Azure order for some reason, and then I started to order it from Amazon, and I saw that I could save. I think it's 5 or 15% discount when you do subscribe and save. This is the cherry lime.
No more.
I really like the blueberry pomegranate. This cherry lime, I actually think this is a big long debacle. I don't think this is actually cherry lime. I think this is a different thing. Azure had a batch that were off, and I contacted Trace Minerals, and they sent me new ones that were actually cherry lime. But then these came from Subscribe and Save, and I think that they have a batch that's off as well. And
Okay. So
anyway.
that's what she's drinking. Let's get back to the vanilla.
Okay.
In a perfect world, if resources were
Thank you,
not
Grace.
as finite as they are, time, energy, money, okay? The real part would be everything is made from scratch. Everything would be grown or raised, and I envision having this unbelievable aquaponic system inside of a wallapini. If you don't know what a wallapini is, check it out. That has a river with a pond where I can grow my own fish in the river, that the river nutrients and the whole ecosystem feeds everything together. That's a whole thing that I'm dreaming and designing.
But for now, we can't even keep bees.
Now,
Sorry.
don't touch me. That's hitting below the belt. Okay. Are bees left for one reason or another? Yes, as long as you want to behave. Anyway, so right now in our season, I'm doing the vanilla powder for multiple reasons. Number one, that convenience we talked about. I'm willing to compromise. The amount, come on, people. We're talking about like a quarter. We're talking about half of a teaspoon
Of sugar?
of whatever the percentage of sugar this is. A half of a teaspoon in a smoothie. This is about the size of the smoothie that you get. Okay? It's pretty much the only sugar that I eat.
It's not gonna hurt her.
She gets a little bit of honey, which I realize it's a lot more honey than what I think I was actually giving you. But that's neither here or there. So I'm gonna allow the vanilla powder for the next however long. Yep, there are hummingbirds are back.
Was she trying to help you?
Anyway,
She came too late. She grabbed it over.
Okay, good.
Okay. You can help next time.
yeah. So vanilla powder, I'm gonna allow it. It's totally okay.
I'm sorry, sweetie. You can tell her that.
It's one of those things.
Asher, bring her here. Do you want cover?
Okay, keeper of the memories. I ordered a few herb starts last year. The oregano, thyme, and lavender were small when they arrived. They did wonderfully, and were the most delicious varieties.
No more.
Awesome. Oregano is crazy.
Now can I have another dish?
No, you cannot eat that. That goes
So
in
we have some starts. They started out as starts from Azure. Some of the perennials that have come back year after year and have done amazingly.
No, I can't.
Can I read some of the?
No.
Oh.
So, yeah, the starts are great. And then thank you for the starts tips. I didn't start much because we are house hunting, but just got some herbs I know I won't find at our local spot. Awesome. The Mimi loves it in her tea every day. Oh, gosh, you know what? You are like a sugarholic. So,
Is she downstairs watching?
Mimi is 15 feet away watching. That's funny. So Diana says, I stand with Kevin on the vanilla powder debate. I knew there was one of you out there. Honestly, just looking for an alternative vanilla extract to be in non-baked items like chia seed pudding. Tastes weird no matter what brand I use. Yes. Oh my gosh. Sugar is fine and healthy people in moderation. Thank you, Moxie. D.O. I don't know if that's how you say that, but yes. A little bit of sugar is okay, as long as you don't have a sugar regulating issue inside your body.
Okay.
You get plenty of sunshine and exercise, and you keep the tequila to a minimum.
Okay, hold
Rant
on.
over.
Except for the fact that we do need to remember
Stop. Both
that
of you. No, this
sugar-
is what I'm talking about. This is not acceptable behavior. Both of you now can stand.
sugar
Up.
is incredibly addictive. It is more addictive than cocaine.
True.
And so therefore you need to be aware of it because a little bit of sugar very rapidly can become a lot of sugar. For example,
Yeah.
a couple batches of cookies quickly turned into we're gonna have cookies every single night because we have cookies on demand now.
Okay.
Grayson started making them in the morning, rolling them into balls, freezing them in vacuum seal bags that are packed up with exactly how many we need to make a batch to have for everyone to have one. And it became this cookie every night. You sound great.
And then when there's leftover cookies, I know somebody who's perfectly willing to consume them.
Yes. So you just have to be careful.
Okay, so vanilla powder, done. We have a bag. We have 2 months worth of vanilla powder. We have this bag plus the one that you ordered in our haul, which we just got a couple days ago.
Dad, look at that.
Jeez, don't cut that. No, Breslin. So, that's that. Oh, okay.
What?
Charlotte just threw down the gauntlet.
Oh boy.
She says, please don't forget to talk about the recipe packs. Here's the deal. We were like this close to finishing the winter recipe pack in the beginning, like end of January,
Early February.
early February, and Christy hit a brick wall.
Literally worst fatigue that I have ever felt in my entire life. Due to
Last one.
It's the last one?
Last one.
No, it's not.
Where
Okay.
it is, yes.
So there you go. Convenience. Okay, go put it away.
We changed my supplements. I started having like not heart issues, but my heart rate went super high.
Especially when she looked at me.
And I don't know what happened, but I was like out for the count for 2 weeks and then recovering after that. So
Anyway, so here's the deal. We discussed the other day about just publishing the winter recipe pack as it is so that you have the ability to get there because there's a lot of really
it's going
good,
to be like a not quite done edition
yeah.
of the winter recipe pack because it has the majority of the recipes in it.
There's just some extra things in there that aren't there.
Like
but
it doesn't have all the like the beginning stuff isn't set up. And I'm gonna be totally honest and say it probably won't be updated until next year. Like
Yeah.
it probably won't be finished until next year. But it will be under that pay what you want pricing. So
Probably forever.
no,
No.
well that will until it gets
Until it
finished.
gets finished, yeah.
But yeah,
So the spring recipe pack is
a priority.
something that we've been talking about, and right now, unfortunately, because things have not, our life isn't totally linear, obviously. So sometimes derailments happen, and we're real. And our goal is to continue to serve you all in a authentic and genuine way, and to provide you resources that are actually valuable and helpful.
So it's something that you can have as a resource, but maybe not something that you want to have like printed and bound.
Yeah. The few recipes that are in there are really, really amazing. And can you actually give me the
It has
whole,
all
Grace,
those Italian.
can you hand me the
recipes.
actual recipe
Yeah.
pack? It's all the Italian stuff that
Yeah,
Christy was like,
please.
I love it.
I want to
Yeah.
know. I'm curious for those of you that are here. I'm curious if you're
Yeah.
interested in a not quite done edition of the winter recipe pack.
Yeah. Give me something.
We had a malfunction. There's 9 more.
Oh, there's
Thank
9
you.
bags of chocolate chip.
There's
cookies.
9 bags of chocolate. Okay.
How many did
Okay.
And
Two things real quick. This guy, come here, guy. Come here. This guy is special. Come down so people can see you. Come here. There you go.
I'm sure.
It was his birthday on April 9th. And that weekend, when we
It
had
was
the newborn
Easter.
baby, it was Easter weekend. Asher was like, Mom, Dad, guys, we don't have to celebrate my birthday this weekend. We can wait till next weekend. And we're like, Asher, you're amazing. Thank you. Well, last weekend, he was sick as a dog, as was like half of our family. So tomorrow,
No, you missed it. He said we didn't have to celebrate his birthday on Easter, so we put it a week forward. Then that week, like a few days before, I still hadn't planned it or taken care of it. We pushed it off again.
oh, that's right.
So
Sorry, I
we
totally just
We're
undermined.
on a walk, and Asher's like, you know what, Mom? I think you need a break. We can push off my birthday celebration for 1 more week. And I was just like, oh, thank you, Jesus. Because I was not ready to do a birthday celebration. And so we pushed it off to last weekend, and then we were all sick, and we're like, it got pushed off again. So we're going to be like 4 weeks out on Asher's birthday.
Record of the longest
Celebrating
birthday
it.
postponed.
So tonight, tomorrow, we're gonna be celebrating his birthday.
Yep.
And he's like, well, the weather will be better next week. The weather will be better next week. And then we wake up to 4 or 5 inches of snow.
Sweetie.
I'm gonna do this real quick. I'm gonna show you what happened last night real quick. Come here. What's up, bub?
Snowy!
Let the camera adjust for a minute. So a lot of it's already melted, but that's what happened, and it was amazing. Yep, there you go. Do not throw snow at me. So, Colorado Springs is, Colorado Springs is way down there. Pikes Peak is up there. This is an area we love going hiking, and yeah, amazing. So really, really, really pretty. Watch out, guys. But the thing about being in Colorado is the sun is so warm, so it'll be melted by the end of the day. So anyway, tomorrow we're gonna be celebrating his birthday. All right, hold on a second. Recipe pack, vanilla bean paste instead. Yes. I love the
So the
3.
vanilla bean paste, I believe, is just the guts. It's like the caviar.
Yeah.
Which I know is really expensive.
Yes. So Cheryl says yes, Kathy says yes, and Charlotte says yes. I love the 3 I already have. Awesome. Cheryl.
Okay.
Thank you.
I
We'll
will do that.
So one of the
My perfectionism self says absolutely not, but I
have to be totally honest. I have to brag on Christy just for a second. So this is the one that we have that's just in our bookshelf over here. The
that's
thing
like the fall.
this is each of them.
Yeah.
This is October, November, and December, I think maybe. Anyway, the one thing that's in here that I go to regularly is the index. If you've not gotten the index,
sure.
you've got to get the index, because if I need like Superman tea, that was the December recipe pack, or the thick and chunky beef stew. Just so many amazing things in here. Vanilla bean ice cream, pie crust, pickled jalapenos, Green beans, hearty sandwich bread. Okay. And then there's, if you want to just look up just seasoning mixes, there's all the different seasoning mixes that we made. And really, really good. Banana protein smoothie. Yes. So, very, 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 very awesome resource.
Okay, it is
And
available.
yeah, I just had to brag on
I'm gonna throw the link to get the index on the description for this video.
Yeah.
Because that, yes, I agree. That is a really good
Oh,
resource.
I have my other favorite item. It's the maple syrup.
Oh, yes. I haven't gotten to that
And
yet.
the reason why I just remembered that is somebody commented here says, I was going to, but many have sugar derivatives, trying to avoid sugar, fructose, high fructose, corn syrup, etc. Yes, there are 3 forms of sugar that we consume in our house. The vanilla bean powder. Okay, just being honest. Honey and maple syrup. And that's about it.
We
Occasionally,
do sugar.
like we do sugar, but it's not like a regular.
We have 9 bags of chocolate chip cookies that have sugar in them.
Okay, that is an option. Yes. So you cannot bring snow in the house, especially put it on the table. Okay.
We also do sucanut. We also do
But okay, I'm talking more, I guess, specific to me specifically. Never mind.
with our desserts. We use coconut sugar. We use a variety of all the
Happy
different
Harbor?
sugars.
Okay. Okay. Never mind.
maybe brown.
Totally just lied.
Happy Harbor.
All right.
Happy.
Is Harvard down there watching us now?
I gotta go through this. Yeah.
Oh, apparently no.
I'll go watch it Harbor. I'll go.
Our life has turned into a new form of babysitting by sending all the kids
No,
down to
do
watch
not
a
turn it
movie.
on the
I
TV.
want to.
No, don't you dare. Asher,
Okay.
you can't. It'll give feedback. It'll be bad.
It'll be bad. Okay. So that's all coming. That's all good. So
I'll do it in the basement.
yeah. All right. Before we, what else do you want to talk about while we're here?
Well, we need to work a little bit more on this list, but I need to add the recipe pack index to the description
Yeah.
with one hand.
All right. Well, what else do you want us to talk about while we're here? Marriage, kids, parenting, plans this summer, children, organizing, health. Why am I obsessed with The Princess Bride? Whatever.
There's a video that I watched the other day that she had so many Princess Bride references. It made me laugh.
Huh.
That you need to watch it.
Okay.
Oh, I have a question. The Worcestershire sauce. What on earth did you do? Alexa, stop. I apologize to I just said stop, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
If anybody has echoes in their house, one thing that I realized is when I watch a YouTube video and somebody addresses their echo and it addresses our echo,
Okay,
it
catches
drives me insane. And so we will hopefully, unless we forget, but we're going to be doing our best to be beeping out any references to the Alexa device in our home.
But here's the thing: even though when you buy the maple syrup, you get it in a gallon jar, you get this.
But where's
Beautiful.
the top? Because it's useless without the top.
It's in the kitchen. Whatever. Yeah.
Okay,
So.
the Worcestershire sauce.
What about it?
The Portlandia Worcestershire sauce. I love it because it is an organic Worcestershire sauce that we can get in bulk at a good price. Now, is the taste any different?
You have a hand. Sorry. Okay. Focus.
Worcestershire sauce. Does
Does
it
it taste-
belong on the list? On the you need to get it from Azure.
So
Because I just like it because it's an
I think that we
organic
need to stop
alternative.
buying the Worcestershire sauce and make our own.
Make our own, exactly, a fermented version of it. I agree. So that's why it doesn't belong on the list.
No.
And same so vanilla. I think vanilla is a great option, but I don't think it belongs on the list because number one, I think that the recipe has changed over the years and it
Yeah.
used to be better.
Yeah.
And number two, I think it is just ideal to make your own.
So someone says the Princess Bride shirts are hilarious. I need to watch that again soon. Yes. So I officially made it an unofficial tradition that we watch the Princess Bride on my birthday every year, so that when my birthday comes and the kids are grown and out and everything, they can sit back and they can watch it on my
yes,
birthday.
you can share that.
Themselves and just remember me. Oh,
I've got something.
We have more babies.
4 more.
good.
Oh.
Harbor's cat, Murda. You've seen Murda in a couple of our videos.
She's the gray one.
She had a kitty,
She had 4 kittens.
4 of them.
This kitten's so cute. It's the
Have you
first.
named them yet?
No, and I think there's only one boy.
Okay.
No,
No.
they're not.
Can I hold one?
I just said no. So, I'm not big on like graphic. I'm not big on Lyndon.
I think
White belly. This one has so
Can't do it
much
now, bud.
white.
Yeah, it does.
That's a
See,
cute.
Arbor?
That's a cute
I
kitty.
told you. I
Yeah.
can't do that.
Yeah.
We are girls.
Anyway,
Girl.
I've never really liked graphic T-shirts or anything, but I have grown to have this maybe slight obsession with like 80s and 90s nostalgic movies and like the one-liners from that, like Great Scots. I want to get one of those Great Scots, but I want it to be really subtle. And anyone that I found, it's really obnoxious.
And I'll be
that's
perfectly
not
honest.
obnoxious.
It drives me insane. I like plain. I like simple.
Yeah,
like
90
solid color.
98.5% of my clothing
Black,
is
white, gray. What honestly, I'd like
Solid.
earth tones, but they're harder to find.
anyway. But I love one that like the
Look at the ear.
I don't think so, Tim.
Oh.
But it's too soft.
Yeah.
I don't think so, Tim. That's a good one. And then there's an As You Wish. I want one that says As You Wish. Cause you're like, hey, can I get the fill in the blank, like 25 times a day.
Like it's just a
So
What
it's just
about- I'm sorry. I'm trying to draw this back to the Azure
okay.
stuff. What about olive oil and avocado oil?
Oh yeah, okay. You know what? I really like the avocado oil. The olive oil, I'm indifferent on. I'll be honest. I don't know if it's a me thing right now, if it's just a.
Okay, but the problem is, it's my understanding that you don't want to use too much avocado oil because of the omega balance.
Can we do
Yada yada yada. That the
Yes.
olive oil is actually better for you for some reason. Pardon my lack of real knowledge here in this area.
So I think we cook with avocado, we eat with olive oil. That's the standard. But recently, since Asher rendered all that lard, our
We're using
avocado
lard.
consumption has been less on the cooking part. I did make mayo. I did one batch with olive oil and one batch with avocado oil. And I think the mayo was better with the avocado oil. That's the one.
Well, and that's fine if you want to use it.
But there's a lot of mayo being consumed.
Well, and they used to be. I think the avocado oil used to be. I can't remember. One of them used to be far cheaper, but now they're like the same price.
The avocado oil was crazy. So
Far
I don't
cheaper.
know what our children are doing.
I don't know. It sounds like they're up to no good.
Yeah. Bunch of
We're watching
hooligans.
the live downstairs.
Hey, can you put the dogs in the crate, please?
Yep.
So, I said herbs and spices, milk, maple syrup. I've got bulk grains, rice, etc. If you're a bulk grains, rice, etc. kind of person, which I don't know. I don't think that necessarily needs to be said because either you go to Azure for those items or you're not that kind of person. You know?
Honey, also known as bear jar.
Yeah, but that's
bear brains. That's from like
that
the
was
store.
an emergency buy. We
Yeah.
ran out of honey.
I didn't need it.
And I'm not even going to put honey on here because I believe that local honey is better.
Yeah, totally.
If local honey isn't the best option for you for some reason or another, Azure honey is the best, second
it's
option.
pretty good, yeah.
And that's what we've been buying because we haven't gone to get our local honey lately.
Rosalina says molasses.
Yes.
Molasses is pretty good.
Yes.
Yeah.
The only I have not tried. So we used to just get the wholesome molasses, and we recently started buying the gallon molasses from Azure, and I don't know if there's any difference. Now the thing is, like, this is where I overthink things a little bit.
Got that on camera.
So you can go to a natural grocery store and buy the wholesome molasses. And so that's where
it's lot.
I think you can actually even go to like a normal grocery store and buy the wholesome molasses.
Yeah, but the viscosity of the wholesome versus the one from Azure is remarkably
Is it?
different. It's the one from Azure is thicker.
Okay,
It's like
that's good to know. That's good to know. We might have to do like a formal side by side comparison.
all right. Got a couple questions here. Are you going to be doing a full pantry tour? So we did a working pantry tour a few months back, but it'd be fun to go through and just do a full food tour.
I have a plan to do so. But here's the deal. We thought we were going to be going through and organizing our food supply room.
Back in the
So we did like a crash course organization of it, like make it manageable like a year ago.
Yeah.
And there's a video on that, but it's a really old video, so it could be really bad. But we did.
Could be really bad.
We had a plan. We had like 5 weeks set aside to work on the working pantry, and it all
Got pushed to nowhere.
got cut.
Yeah.
Because
Someone was.
of her and me.
Yeah.
And so my goal is to be able, like, it's not that I don't want to show chaos, but I don't feel like there's any value in showing chaos. And the system that I have in my mind is not totally what's down there. It's in pieces it is, but most of it is not.
Why don't you tell everybody why it's not?
I would well, I just said because we haven't. Oh, because you guys ruin it. Yeah, that too. But I feel like we would be doing you a disservice by not sharing something valuable to help, like, encourage and inspire you to use a system that works really well, that makes it fun to have a bulk food storage. And so our freezers, we did get through the freezers. I doubt those are still in good shape. Sorry. Are they not? Are they? I know that the inventory hasn't been followed.
Which inventory? The beef?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Has it? Is it up to date?
Way to find out.
It's just a delivery. So, yeah, like we've
Do
done.
not answer the door.
We've done the working pantry. We've done the spice cabinet tour.
We'll
We'll probably continue as we work through spaces. Our goal next is the food supply room, and then to go through the kitchen. And we'll probably do those individually as we do them, and then when we're done, we'll do like a all encompassing how the whole system works sort of a thing.
So the one part about the system and the organizing of everything, it does require a regular occurring inspection. But in the next video that's coming out, Cheyenne asked if Harbor could teach us have Harbor teach us how to bake white bread in the oven. She does do bagels. We do.
You totally, like, what you just said made zero sense.
I know, because I was distracted. I'm sorry. So the I'll go back. Sorry. So the having everything organized it takes so much time, but once it's done, it's good. But it does require going through on a regular basis and fixing things that become disorganized.
And part of the trick is creating a system that will actually stay easily. And I think that we finally nailed it with the working pantry and the spice cabinet, except for the one example you just gave me, the spice cabinet, when you said one of these boys.
Some of our children did not put the seasoning.
There was one incident in the past few months where somebody didn't put stuff away the right way.
It was yesterday.
So outside of that, they're staying the way that they are supposed to.
Yeah.
And when I say that the refrigerator or the freezers probably aren't still the way that I put them, I say that because I didn't finish I didn't finish, and I don't expect it to stay that way because I don't feel like the system is finalized enough to the point where it's going to actually work well consistently. If that makes sense.
So are we not going to do a full pantry tour?
We are. It's just going to take us a little while.
Okay. We love the avocado oil and the coconut oil. They're the best. And the molasses. Yay. From Rosalinda. She gets the blackstrap molasses. Something new to me is getting the books from Azure. That's an awesome resource.
I'm gonna add the books.
And then Cheyenne asked if Harbor could teach us how to make white bread in the oven.
I will try and add that. I think that would be a really good one. You know, we did one. I think we did a tuna sandwich video.
It's possible.
But
Harbor's
we'll do a better work through on it.
Harbor's
or walk through.
Yeah, and that's one of those things that we've talked about doing, like come join us live to do something or to make something. But in the next video that's coming out, she and I make bagels one night, and that's coming soon.
Asher wants to share Harbor's bread.
And
Last night we had a victory in the house. Harbor had a victory. I feel kind of bad sharing it without her, but she seemed to think it was more fun to watch than participate. So Harbor made a whole grain baguette.
Behold. Delicious.
That was turned into garlic bread, but
Yeah.
we've been trying to do the baguettes for a while now, and they kept not turning out, and this one finally worked. And so
It
we're
finally
really happy
turned
with it.
out.
Yeah. So.
Here she comes. I can hear her.
Another kitten that's really cute. I think it's more cool to have baby kittens than baby kittens.
A few people have mentioned Harbor's name. It's actually Harbor, so it's Harbor, like Pearl Harbor.
He's got a beard. She, I'm pretty sure it's a she. It's got a beard. It looks so weird. They are black. It's black and white. It's not gray. The lighting makes them look gray. Look at the marks on his belly.
Uh-huh.
Or belly, jeepers. And
His
the
big
leg.
leg. Oh,
She
yeah.
says she wants to go back home.
Cheryl says more tutorials using freshly milled grains. She's grain mill, but our bread was really tasty but flat and dense.
And that's
the problem. Yes.
so this is something that
Ken says good job, Harbor.
if you're going from like your store-bought fluffy fake bread, we cut all bread,
Yeah, a while
period.
ago.
And
You
we didn't eat anything.
Except for Thanksgiving.
And so
You got
when, it was probably a few years. And so when we went back into making the whole grain bread, nobody complained because it was bread and they were happy to eat it no matter how dry and awful it tasted.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
You don't feed people for 5 days.
our
They eat
kids
some
love
pretty
rice
wild
cakes for a
things.
reason.
I have another.
Nope, no more. You guys ate half that bag.
I've only had 3.
Oh my goodness.
Well, if you have 3,
One
and he has
time.
3, and they have 3, like that's 21
Too many.
pieces.
Yeah.
Yes, I understand you only had 3, but that's the
Like,
pleasure
just
of
a
being part of a large family. You only get a very little. If you want to buy your own bag of mangoes, you can.
Great.
It's like $50.
Not great.
So one of the thoughts, if you have a bread that you just can't stand, you can turn it into breadcrumbs. So this is just homemade breadcrumbs that we made. That you just take the bread and
Which for a little while
breadcrumb it.
it was really easy to have breadcrumbs, but now the bread experiments are becoming better and better, and we have to intentionally make breadcrumbs. Are you asking me if I want one of those?
I'm asking if we can dish these out.
Sure.
I'm good.
I would love a peanut butter bar.
Yeah,
Single
that's
boy.
fine. No, tip 1, no bread for the month. Yeah.
Yeah, no bread, you go to desserts. These
So
are
no-
fail.
No bread for a month, and then the day that you make the bread, just don't feed them anything until they eat the
Those
bread.
are brownies.
They're,
Or like
Do it in the end, do it in the middle.
You know, one of the other things I keep forgetting. One of the videos we've talked about doing is how to get your kids to eat anything.
Yeah.
Sure.
And
My hands are.
I am curious if
Slice.
that is a video that
Okay.
I don't
Something that you'd be
would be
interested
of
in.
interest
Yeah.
because I think that that's something that we've
Could I get a permit?
succeeded.
A lot of people have we see a lot of people who, you know, there's one meal for the parents and there's one meal for the kids, or there's one meal for the parents and two meals for the kids because somebody doesn't like something. And we have the belief that
You said you didn't like it.
everybody eats the same
No, I
thing.
didn't.
If there's an extreme diet that we're gonna go on, and I say diet loosely,
Hey, no.
but if we're going to cut grain or cut sugar or something like that, everybody cuts grain, everybody cuts sugar,
Start.
and it's good for everybody.
Start digging.
But we're not cutting grain and we're not cutting sugar.
Harper,
So-
may I
Not right
have
now.
one, please?
We need a
So
small.
Charlotte says Harbor's
Oh,
baking
okay.
sessions are her favorite. She's so talented.
Oh.
I missed what you said.
Say thank you.
Thank you.
I need to write something down on this.
Can I snatch it?
Apparently nobody likes my
$50.
cooking.
Your cheeseburger salad is the best.
I should feel
Yes,
bad
it
for
is.
you.
Hey, easy on the
It's a party now.
Whoa!
May I have one, please?
May I have one, please?
Peas.
And you say thank you.
Thank you. How is
That's
it so
funny.
quiet now?
All right. Yes, and then the bad bread can be turned into croutons. Very true. We did that last
Yes.
night, but they were eaten by little kids.
Unknown party.
Cleaning supplies.
Wait, I need.
Like laundry detergent,
Pardon me.
dishwasher detergent.
The laundry detergent I think is pretty good. I have a couple things that it's not getting stains out. Which reminds me, if you could start the dryer again, that make your time dry.
Laundry detergent's job isn't to remove stains.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the dishwasher gel, I think was working good, but they discontinued
discontinued
that item.
That's what we should have talked to Maria this morning about.
Well,
I'm
she's
so
not,
disappointed.
She's not a customer
I know.
service rep. Their dishwashing soap to wash dishes by hand
I'm coming.
is good. It does not cut the grease as good as some of the other products. So it requires hotter water, more soap. Twice.
Okay.
But I'm willing to work a little bit harder for the convenience and quality of the product, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Or we just have to cook everything on cast iron and deal with that soap stuff. Just use salt.
You're alive.
Yes, we are alive.
And in the basement.
Diana says, we grew up old school. We ate what the cook cooked. If someone was on a special diet, we all ate that diet. They might call that child abuse today.
Then maybe we
We're
should
not even
out
gonna go there.
ourselves.
We're not gonna even go there. Because
You know, I will admit, when we were in the hospital and we were talking about leaving AMA and they were threatening social services, I did think to myself that there are a lot of things that we do that a lot of people would probably think are really good, that are like within our circle of influence, but that the majority of the population would probably call child abuse.
Yeah.
And that's a concern because yes, we have the same role. You eat you eat what everybody else eats. We don't force anybody to eat anything though.
no, you just don't eat anything until the next meal. And if you don't eat that meal, then you're going to go to bed hungry.
Like I know some people use the tactic of if you don't eat this meal, you have to finish this meal before you can have the next meal, and they'll give them the same meal over and over and over
Yeah.
again. And I
I don't like that.
I'm not like
I
there's no
had that.
judgment. It might work for some people,
Yeah.
but
That's just
it's not where
our-
we landed.
That's not for us. But my parents did that once with beef stew.
You do like the beef stew?
Not my mom's. No disrespect, mom.
What about you came with the worst eating habits?
I did.
Rice and oranges?
Citrus in general. and-
Like you like, and they all have stories connected to the reason why you won't eat them.
Mhm.
That's how you spell make.
MAKE. Make.
Nuts. Nuts are something
Nuts are good for measure.
because
Cream cheese.
Not that one. I'm really liking the Nancy's.
I like the Nancy's
Yes.
cream cheese too.
All right. So I'm noticing
Also
that this
with
is your
flavor.
list. Looks very similar to the one that we did already, which is good to know that we haven't
It's
changed
not
much.
too.
Yeah.
We need to update. And I know our top 10 I think actually has like top 20. I'm just rather than sharing our favorites, I really want to share the items that you really, if you're not buying them from Azure,
You
you
need
need
to
to
buy.
at least try them,
Yeah.
and you're gonna love them.
There's a few people that come to our drop and they just buy very odd random, like they couldn't find that ingredient anywhere else. They found it there and it's just one item. And I'm thinking to myself, there are so many good things you can get from Azure and you're missing out.
I have to
So-
untangle.
You know. So
Citrus.
Diana asked, can you freeze the Nancy's cream cheese and sour cream? We've had the sour cream accidentally freeze before. The taste is totally the same. It changes the texture. It's no longer as smooth and creamy. It's a little bit more gritty, but it doesn't separate. So I'll say you can freeze the sour cream, but because Nancy's expiration dates are so good and reasonable, we have no
Was
need
that
to freeze
Ralph's?
we have no reason to freeze the sour cream. And the cream cheese, I'm guessing yes, you can.
I've heard that you can. We just never have because we go through
Goes
it
through
so
it, we go
fast.
through it, yeah.
Now, it's one of those ones where I wish that we had more of a stockpile of it because they were out of it this last one. Oh, I'm sorry. What happened? Oh.
Quesadillas?
Here, I'm gonna go
Is
share.
it?
Let's get going on that. There's some leftover taco meat that you
I
can use.
saw that.
Stop leaning that chair.
I might need your help. I need you to come over
Dad,
my
how do you
shoulder and
spell
share how this.
bucks? Dad, how do you spell bucks?
BUCK.
Hold on.
You got it?
Yeah.
Oh. Oh. Perfect. She can be a movie star.
Kathy says, "Oh,
Very cute.
oh, yeah." I don't. Here's the thing: we could sit and we could talk all about lifestyle.
Done, Dad?
Do you want me to spell Dundad, or are you done?
No. I'm done.
Great. We could sit here and we could take our channel and talk about parenting. We could talk about child rearing. We could talk about
Bucks.
politics and all those things.
And how cute Jolene is.
We are, if you haven't gathered by now, we are family focused. We believe in keeping our kids close so that when they do get launched into the world, they're mighty people. Sorry, I'm moving that. There we go. See that for a second. The world that we live in now is not it's not easy for our children to I don't know what I'm trying to say. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Come on, let's walk around.
We're grateful that we're homeschooled. we're grateful that we're home growing our family. I wish that we had more property to do the things that we want to do. We've done that before. We've had the farm thing. We'll do that again, but not right now.
You want to go walk around with us for a little bit, and then I'm gonna have to feed her again. But
Jeanette Cole says, in your February video, you showed huge tortillas. What do you all put in them? Oh, you mean these? I just happen to have these.
That's funny.
We take these.
because we eat too many of them. Were they on the menu for today, or is this like a?
There was no lunch today.
No, there was.
What was it?
Chili.
Chili. So,
Chili seems like a good thing today.
so these are perfect for quesadillas. We will put cheese, meat, veggies, cheese, fold it in half. Boom shakalaka. Awesome quesadilla. Probably the best. Fried in a little bit of oil. If you want to get fancy, you can do butter. That's amazing. But butter's expensive. You could do lard. I bet. So put these in the sun so they start defrosting, please. So, we try to keep we want to try to keep our channel as focused in on food and family and that for right now. And we share more of our beliefs on our Comstock Clan vlog. If you haven't seen that, you can check that out. But we've decided that the Comstock Clan vlog, we're not building those videos for any other reason other than a memory for us. So if it seems like we don't want to try to make the videos awesome or anything, it's because we want them
We include crazy long clips of things of one of our kids doing something that may be seemingly irrelevant
or boring
to
or whatever.
somebody out there.
But it's for us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to throw something out there because I feel like now is the time. It's kind of hidden here at the end of this video, and you brought up the topic,
Yeah.
and so
Here we go.
you kind of led into
Where's
it
the quesadilla?
way too well.
In the sun. In the.
We've wanted for probably about 7 years to do a podcast
Yes.
called Cure for the Common Family.
Yep.
And the topic of the podcast is to just basically talk about building family culture.
In the box.
Um,
You can fit so many different things inside of that.
building a family culture that is different than the culture that's in the world. And that would include like just family life, homeschooling, marriage, parenting,
Fitness, food, faith, creativity, exploring the world, raising children to go into the world.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
Can I take her down?
Systems, chores,
Yeah.
all of that. So that's
But here's the thing: is that I feel torn because right now I feel it's been really heavy on my heart to do this and to make it happen. But I also feel like we don't have the capacity to add it, especially what we're planning on doing with this channel. We've got some exciting stuff that we're planning on adding to this channel and actually finishing these recipe packs that I started. And I've got some other projects that I want to do. And so one of the things that we've talked about is, not moving forward because we feel like we want to do it, but really waiting for God to show us where he wants us. Because if I were to be like, I get off track all the time and driven by the things that I want to do. I'm going to be totally honest about it. And that's why we end up with recipe packs that aren't finished, because I get distracted by all the things that I want to do. And it's too much. Where when I do my job and I just hone in and say, God, what should I do today? What should I do this week? What should I do this month? He usually doesn't ask us for
too much more.
He doesn't ask more of us than what we can actually do. And so one of the things, what we've talked about is that it's on our heart. We want to do it, but God's going to be the one to pull it together.
Yeah.
And with that, not that we're not willing to work hard at something, but we've noticed that when his hand is in something, it comes I don't know if easy is the best word, but I feel like it's
with
easy.
it comes without toil.
Like
because
finding this house when we had to move in middle of COVID at the last minute
Mhm.
was easy.
But the Bible's clear. It says the blessings of the Lord bring the toil with them.
Yes.
So when we're equally yoked on a calling, it's easy. And she's like, you thought about that podcast. You thought about that podcast.
I'm like,
know?
I want to know where you're at. Because he's like, yeah, let's do it. And I'm like, no, I really want you to think about it. I really want you to pray about it. I really want you to ask God, is this really where we're supposed to be?
Yeah. So that's something that we're working through right now. And I just...
Don't jump the gun. I need to get to my question still.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what you're going to say.
I just say right now it's just a wait and see.
Well, so this is where I'm like, it's hidden in a video, and so this is kind of like, I'm just kind of like testing the waters, because what I told you, I'm like, all right, I have an idea. We need 20 topic ideas,
Mm-hmm.
and I would love for the majority of those to be interviews with people.
Yep.
Now, reaching out to people and asking people to do
Whoa.
interviews isn't a guarantee, yes, they're going to do it. Can you go just walk with her, bud? I'll take her back in just a second.
You can find Harbor as well. She's good there.
Like, here's the deal. I'm not going to go looking. I'm not going to spend my time doing research and brainstorming and coming up with things. But if God gives us
She's watching, so that's why she's
20 ideas, 20 topics to do podcasts on. And
Mom said
Give-
or.
please give fighting over the baby.
Mean.
And puts us together with people that would be ideal to contact to do interviews with, then that is our sign to move forward with it.
Yeah.
And so far, I've had like 5 or 6, in addition to the ones that we originally talked about, that have kind of just dropped into my lap. So we're not to the 20 by far, but
Getting there.
my question is, do you have any topic and or ideally person that would be ideal to interview on a family culture type topic? Now, like some of the things, like I want to include the homesteading factor. I want to include like a tiny, like people who live in, have a family culture that's built around living in a tiny home. I don't know how they do it. I feel crunched in the space that we're in. Somebody who lives in an RV, and like how they work that and how it impacts their family culture. And I'm really like, we're looking for legacy driving impact. Things like eating together as a family, how that time is
Or
spent
just
together.
raising people that
Not
well
what babe.
raising mighty men
Hold on, Elias.
and mighty women.
You should use a different word than mighty, but for women.
You're right.
Wonderful
Go to
women.
graduation
Like
party.
mighty
Not right
men.
now, when we're done with the video, yes, I will.
I will say like truly compassionate, or like you say, your thing is you want to be a passionate wife.
Yeah.
Like I want to be a steadfast husband. She wants to be a passionate wife. Now, steadfast will cover a certain area of life, and passionate will cover us like it covers all of it. And it isn't necessarily passionate about me, but passionate about homemaking, parenting, raising children, wanting to be a grandma, wanting to be able to be here to be a grandma, taking pride in the work that she's doing and the things that she's called to do, and all of that. Because right now, I feel like the majority of the population is being dissected, and it's confusing, and there's so much evil going on in the world, And I know that there's pure, honest, good, whole families or people out there. And we were just watching the thing with Kirk Cameron the other day with his Brave Book series, and trying to go out into the library and talk about, hey, an elephant is not a bird, people. An elephant's an elephant, and a bird is a bird. Because this world that we're living in is so torn apart. And we might not even get to the podcast. Jesus might come back before then. I don't know.
Very true.
There are a lot of questions. There's a lot of things. So if you want to say something,
The one thing that I do want to throw out there is that this, because we're on YouTube and you're watching YouTube, the podcast, I will just say, will also be video format, and it will be on YouTube, but it'll just be us sitting down talking,
just like this.
ideally interviewing other people.
So
Keep it for another minute.
your mom says that Mimi and Breslin love Azure's peanuts. Yes.
You guys wait for that.
Breslin goes down to Mimi's door. They have like a door that separates their little area of the house. We call it the West Wing because it's the west side of the basement. And Breslin goes down there all the time, and she knocks on her door, and she gets a peanut. And sometimes she stays down there, and then she disappears down there a lot, actually. And it's becoming more and more often. But she gets her peanuts, and she comes up. And, like, at first when it started, she was like, but I only get 1 peanut a day. And then I'm finding, like these little piles of peanut shells. I'm like, there's like 3, 4, 5 peanut shells here, Breslin. I told her, I go, if I find any more peanut shells laying around our house, there will be no more peanuts for you. And I haven't seen any more.
Yeah.
What do you, oh, here's Mama Cat.
Mama Murta.
So Rosalinda says that smile. Yes, with a hard face.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Kylie says, maybe in future videos you could do detailed homeschooling videos. It's something I'm considering. If we can say one thing about homeschooling is we believe that homeschooling should be the standard, and people should be called to put their children in public schools for one reason or another. We understand that there's a lot of logistics and things that go into homeschooling, but it is something that we believe wholeheartedly is the way. This is the way. But also make it simple, make it easy for you. It doesn't have to be complicated. Jeanette says, I made breakfast quesadillas today, but the skillet wasn't big enough. Yes, that is a problem. So we have just a flat skillet that's probably, 18 inches long, and it's like 8 inches
covers
wide.
2
It covers 2 burners. That works perfect. So then Kylie says, also maybe a short video about your favorite and most used kitchen tools and gadgets. Good idea.
That's a good one.
Rosalinda says, yes, homeschool my daughter.
There's
does-
the skillet. I just got it.
Oh yeah, so here, how we get out of the way. Actually, if you show it right here, that's good. So that's the skillet. There's a size comparison for you.
Where's the tortillas? Did you mention, you said you fold them in half
Yeah.
too. We don't do one on top of the
No.
other.
Yes, homeschool my daughter does the KEVA or K-12 online homeschool program. I'm pulling her out
How do you spell
for
that,
8th and
please?
up. All the help would be amazing, awesome. And then within the homeschool info, how do you juggle homeschooling children and having a new baby? That's something that I'm worried about for my future. We could definitely talk about that.
Lots of flexibility and grace.
What
Yeah.
does this spell?
So, and then Kylie says, oh, real quick, a favorite item to add for Azure. I recently tried their new canned coconut creamed in milk
We haven't
without
tried
gar
that yet.
gum. It's great, and the price is excellent. I use it for my coffee creamer now.
Thank you. I've
Yes.
had that on our list because it was listed as a new item, and I
That's-
planned on trying it, and they didn't have it for the longest
That's
time.
also really good for when Christy cuts
No.
dairy, because she'll cut dairy again at some point in time in the future. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. Dairy, sugar, and grains.
Tacos. Hold on. No cheese. Okay.
You
Jeanette.
don't have to cut dairy with me.
Okay, starting indoors plants at 7,000 feet, waiting until May to put them in the garden. What's in your garden? Greenhouse, hoop house, raised beds. So, Jeanette, we have 4 raised garden beds that are hoops. We put plastic over them, and
2 of them have
We
terraces.
also have screen and burlap to protect them when we have hailstorms, which we
Yep.
didn't last year.
No, so the screen we have
There
like
was
a
one.
shade, like we like a shade cloth that will go over everything. And then the things that are in our garden are going to be peppers, green beans, cucumbers, lettuce, a little bit of carrot,
Zucchini.
a little bit of zucchini,
How do you spell
a little bit of radishes.
Lots of jalapenos, lots of cucumbers.
Yeah,
We
cucumbers and
want to do-
jalapenos because that's like where we want to do pickling. That's what we're focusing on this year. We did tomatoes. We figured out how to grow tomatoes. Last year the bugs got them.
But there's so much work.
They're a ton of work. I mean, you got suckers, you got fertilizing, you got picking, you got the bugs, you got the tomatoes, you have deer. The deer.
You have the timing
There's-
of like, and
like, then
we
there's
were
the
trying to
harvest.
get in the freezer, but
So we do have a lot of our tomatoes that are still in the freezer that we need to pull out and do something with.
and we are doing cherry tomatoes just for fun.
Did
to
you get
eat.
chocolate cherry?
Yeah. So Kat says, here. Yes. Okay. Kai says great values. Shervin says might not be the proper word, but I call it living within grace. Okay, we'll go with that. Yes, and I'm not disagreeing with you on that. Dana says continue to seek God and He will direct you where you need to go. And when Kirk Cameron was here in Indiana reading his book to our chicken a few months ago, I'm assuming you meant children. Why have you got Kirk Cameron come read to your chickens? That's awesome. The show says I have a son that's an autism spectrum. I wanted to be a part of the answer, not the problem, and do it with grace, even when the world was not kind. Excellent. I love that. Melody says that sounds like a fabulous idea for a podcast. Awesome. Yes, it's amazing what God can do. You'll be guided. Love the podcast idea. I'll be praying about that. This is what the Lord guides you if it's His will. Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate that. And the whole thing is just making sure that what we do is not a distraction from
Robert,
what
how do
He's
you
calling us to
spell
do. We're not
Phil?
trying to do things in our own strength.
Robert, how do you spell Phil?
And Diana says yes, children.
Fill.
That's funny. I understand you're typing that you're trying to type fast, and I do my best proofreading after I hit send. So
It's funny that you do act as if she's on a phone. And it's funny because it makes me think to myself, if I were watching the YouTube live on my phone, I probably wouldn't comment because it was on my phone. If I were on my computer,
Mimi's got it up on her TV.
Absolutely.
And she's commenting on her phone.
thanks, Mimi.
I could handle that.
So one of the things that we've talked about with doing the podcast or not and doing it all is again just trying to find a way to serve people and to expand the community that we are a part of. And that's the one thing that I love about social media, especially in this this genre or this niche or anything. And we talk family. There's usually not a lot of discrimination. I mean, there's going to be some. It's going to happen. It's going to be eventual. I understand, but for the most part, people that are around us and inside of our community online, we're all very like-minded, and
Then
that's
fill up.
that's
Mhm.
good. So, Hannah says I'm at work, but that was funny. She's at work. So, Shervin also says love the black cherry tomatoes. Have you tried them? Are they tough? Just keep on producing. We did chocolate cherry tomatoes.
We did Black Prince.
We did black Prince tomatoes. Or
The
like
chocolate
purple.
cherry tomatoes 2 years ago were amazing.
They're trouble.
The chocolate cherry tomatoes last year were really good.
Yeah. So Kelly Harris says, I have 2 children I have custody of that came from a horrible situation. They and I love your channels, have been raising children for almost 40 years. Family has become a model for me. That's awesome. Good for you, Kelly. Thank you for your support and being here and watching everything. Yeah. I don't know. The more that we do YouTube or the more we do social media, I find that I really like having the memory. And it's like we need to record everything. So I don't know. It's hard sometimes. We've talked about one of the things with our channels is just doing a live video where we just do something with you, and whether that be making bread or making kombucha or anything like that.
I think that one's coming.
It's
for
coming.
sure. That's not a question.
Yeah.
You acted like that was a question.
It's not a question. It's
That's
coming.
coming.
So, but the thing that we've talked about is setting it up in a way to where you can have the supplies that you need in order to build the things that we're going to do. So if we're going to be doing kombucha, you have the starter, you have all that infrastructure ready, so it's not a total waste where you can actually come with us and do it.
Oh yeah.
It's roots.
So, yeah, here's an Azure onion that we've had for a while. It's growing some onion, or it's growing some roots. So.
That's really weird.
Snitch.
So, yeah. Biggest thing we've talked about with family and logistics and schooling and everything is to keep it simple. Keep it simple.
Flexible.
Make it easy. One thing at a time. Proceed small.
So for we've had quite a few requests for homeschool stuff, and I feel like the homeschool stuff belongs on its own channel.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what's held me back from talking about anything homeschool, is because I feel like it's its own channel, and then it becomes a project, and then it becomes something that needs to come to the top of the list. And so I don't know if there's something, if there's an easy way for us to do something homeschool that isn't necessarily here on this channel.
Yeah.
Because I want things to be congruent. I want things to make sense, unless it's alive, and we talk about whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know exactly.
But here's also the other thing with some of these videos that we're editing. I don't want. We've talked about this. We want it to be as authentic and genuine as possible. That's why a lot of our videos in the past have been scripted, and we've talked about. We want to be as genuine and authentic as possible. So that's why some of our lives might seem. You get the real me. Chrissy's pretty smart, but with doing these lives, I feel like there's a relationship that is more genuine. Where you get to actually,
and the reason for taking the time to outline a video and or script it is because we want to be respectful of your time and try and deliver the information in a way that is the clearest,
concise, and somewhat entertaining. I think also
way possible. And it's hard to do that when you don't
do that
plan it and outline it and all of that.
Then that's what happens to our lives. If we say it's going to be 30 minutes and it ends up being 2.5 hours. My butt's asleep.
Now you can take this video and you can chop it up and you can make it into a couple of small videos.
Is that real quick? So, I find what some might think is mundane very soothing to listen to. Perhaps it's because I don't have many people in my community that understand joy in housekeeping, real food, etc. How are Azure's sprouting seeds? And then maybe a homeschooling pack like your recipe packs. Okay? And then continued from above, Shervin says, if I say, look, I found canned tomatoes without calcium in them, I get a glazed look instead of, where? Let's go shopping. Yes. That's funny. She said, so Kylie says, well, I appreciate.
Wait, hold on. Let me just say where. Let's go shopping.
Kylie says, well, I appreciate the length. I kept this on while taking the babies for a walk. Thank you so much. Oh, that's awesome. I'm happy that you were able to be productive while
listening.
Doing this.
That's one of the things about the podcast that I'm excited about, is that it's in a format where
you can just listen and do things. You can just listen.
Yeah. And so I don't feel bad about making it long. Yeah. And that's same here. You don't need to watch us on this video.
Yeah. I don't know. Jolene's pretty cool. And we did some of the other stuff. You can see how well. All right. You want to see that? How's this for real? You can see how well our project went of packaging our stuff. We still have a bunch to do. And yeah.
This is that whole. I attribute it to that whole.
There's
Mary
Gracie.
Martha thing.
Yeah.
And I do not make a very good Martha. I can't do stuff.
Yeah.
While
Well,
trying to talk to people, even when you're not
Here?
in front of me.
No, you cannot have any more. And then Rosalina says, can you refer to a program or site that can help?
Who's this one?
Or-
Hold on, let me
Who's
look.
this one?
See what she said earlier.
No.
So she's talking about the homeschooling. So like, do you have a site or a program that can help?
No.
Dad, there's a
Sorry.
leftover.
So
Judge
I know
mango
that Christy's tried a
piece.
bunch of different.
There's a judge mango piece. What is that?
Yes, you have that.
Oh, we can. Okay.
On the table.
So Christy has done a.
I love all about reading.
Yeah.
Like there's a couple of curriculums that I like. I don't know. I guess it depends on if you're talking about curriculum, if you're talking about planning, if you're talking about executing, if you're talking about the why, if you're talking about the how. Like there's so many different aspects of it that
Experience is the best teacher. Just drop kick your kid into the world.
Get that out of here.
I don't. And I mean,
Tiny
we follow.
Bare brains.
Some people call it unschooling. I consider it to be more of like a child-led strategy, I guess, where like they pick a lot of what they learn. Like there's a reason why Harbor is focusing on more on herbs and midwifery than she is some of the other more traditional curriculum. Grayson loves math, and so he's going through math at a much faster rate than any of our other children are.
Honey bread.
Asher is more physical and focuses on a lot of those aspects as opposed to diving into some of the other stuff. He also he works on his shooting. He really is into. What are you doing? Are you hearing the ocean?
That is not the ocean.
No, it is
Do
not.
not put your ear up against that. Try that. After I just told him not to.
Lyndon
Close it on there.
has really taken a liking to building, like creating things. He's the one that showed you the hand thing.
Oh, it is not.
And he is like he creates stuff all the time.
Oh my goodness.
Our goal is to grow up children who love learning. Period.
She's talking.
We want them to love learning, to love life, and to equip them with the tools that they need to learn how to do what they want to do to go where they want to go, as opposed to just focusing on the academic aspect. So I would say honestly, like if we were to do like our, I think, skill set that I think is the most valuable to share would be more in the realm of like everything that goes around homeschooling as opposed to the
Actual.
academic aspect of it.
Yeah.
Because like we use like I've listed off all of the curriculums that we use in the live before. If you search homeschool on our channel, you can find that, and I believe that I went through and I did chapters.
Yeah.
At least it just says homeschooling. I don't think it necessarily says like each
Each
we
one.
talk about each subject, but
So I guess the biggest thing is, Christy went to school, she went to college, and the skill that she learned while she was at college has served our family, but it's not something that she's doing. And
meaning I went to school for accounting.
yeah,
Which, yeah, I can do our own accounting. I can do our taxes and all of that, but
Stop.
but it's not something that,
I'm not a professional accountant.
yeah, where, like, for our kids, I would love for them to learn, a little bit about a lot, really.
Yeah.
So they learn a little bit about accounting, bookkeeping, business management.
And that's why we're going through an entrepreneurship
entrepreneurial
program that we're
Program.
building for them.
Yeah.
So that, because that's our goal, is for them to, unless they have something that they
They specifically refer in
need
college
to go to
yeah.
school for.
But I didn't go to college. I don't think college would have been good for me. So my education is hard knocks and scars
I don't know what.
and children. No, you don't need to watch that. You're right here. Just watch it here.
No, I
No,
can't.
you can't. Yeah, you can.
No, I can't.
Don't touch this. So, anyway, there's somebody had a question. Says, are the packets still available for purchase? And then Cheryl responded to that and said they're in the link in the video description.
Yes.
So thank you, Cheryl.
Can I get in now?
Appreciate that.
I actually started the Comstock Clan website and I put the recipe packs on there, and that's I think all that is on there right now.
Yeah.
I have a homepage that has a couple links to our YouTube channels, and that's it.
Yeah, I did.
So yeah, I don't know.
Ow.
No.
Kicking that perfectionism to the curb and actually doing things.
Cool. All right. Before we wrap up, is there any other last questions that you have? Then we're going to eat lunch, maybe go on a walk, and I think
That trail looks clear. I'm going on a walk.
we're going to watch. I think we're going to watch Top Gun tonight,
Yeah.
like the new one. We watched the '80s version. We watched the '80s version last week.
Yeah.
Prove it, Angel.
Groove It Angel. You're gonna watch anything?
Pizza.
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 Yeah, you told us that when we watched the Top Gun.
Do we have any?
Maverick.
Do we have frozen pizza?
Yeah.
So, because I'm not making cheeseburger, so.
Wait.
Well, go make a cheese pizza then.
Can I have that for a second?
We could do the tortilla pizzas. We totally do that.
I found a pizza dough recipe that I want
Not
to do. So you
tonight.
make it in, no, not tonight. You just make the pizza dough and leave it in the fridge.
Me mean tortilla. Tortilla dough.
Wow.
Tortilla.
All right, things are getting a little
Yeah. Okay.
crazy.
So it says the new one is surprisingly good. A family favorite here too. I saw a clip on YouTube that I may have searched, and it looks pretty awesome. We're gonna do that tonight. So, for those of you who have stuck around listening to us, thank you so much. Kathy, Cheryl, Kylie, Charlotte. Those are the names that I remember that we're commenting often. Thank you so much for your guys' support. Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
And we will be back next week with Bagels with Harbor, some food inventory and stuff. Christy's still very pregnant in that video.
Yeah, we still have two more videos.
Two
that are
videos
coming
where she's still pregnant. So, and we have a really boring Azure haul when we have a newborn baby. And then we have one that we're going to do tomorrow.
So, like, we're filming it.
We're filming it
tomorrow.
tomorrow. Please stop.
You told me we were going to
So, if you want to see more of our family, you can check out the Comstock Clan vlog. We have another video that's going to be dropping today at 4 p.m., which is Friday today. So
I thought it was 4 a.m.
no, 4 p.m. 4
Bye-bye.
p.m. So bye bye. Oh, somebody said something.
Yep.
Jolene is beautiful. Thanks for the live update today. Take care. It's so good. Awesome. Thank you all, and see ya.
Wait, Dad.
What?
I will play Tortilla.
No.
I was
All
sitting.
right, I need to turn this off.
Wait,
Go.
Mom, you said yes.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Get out of here. Get out of here. Close. And you sure you want to stop streaming? Okay. See ya.
Hey, I want to.
All right, you push it.